text, it drew a straight line. It drew a straight line and burned right through. It didn't go but it just went right through.
Yeah. If now that was with text. If you did it with, say, just a rectangle or a circle or something like that, will that burn okay?
I'd have to play with it again. I don't think I could burn with that. I think I got the same effect.
Because what I'm saying is there could be a problem with the font, perhaps.
Okay. Well, I just need. I want a simple thing that I can throw in there and print just to see if I had it working at one time, and all of a sudden, it doesn't do it.
Hey, Eddie,
Hey,
this is Dave Edwards from Michigan.
yes, sir.
You had Louisiana hobby guy on there your program one time. You might want to call him to find out because he's pretty fluent about light burn and so the machine that you got.
Yeah, I got a message out to him. I'm still waiting to hear back from him.
Yeah, okay, because I thought maybe if you get in contact with him because he is pretty fluent about light burn. And I use light burn. There is a learning curve on light burn that you have to learn how to set all the settings before you go off.
LA
See, that's what I may have
gets a couple
accidentally
hundred
tripped.
messages a day, so sometimes it'll be a while before he can get to you.
I got to catch up with Ronnie. Ronnie's got his phone number. I didn't copy that when I was. So, but I'm enjoying it. Back to do a little laser work. Turning a bunch of little things. Just still trying to develop that hand-eye coordination thing that I'd lost, but it's coming back.
TV on.
We got some interesting stuff up tonight. I got to look at it. We have a tips and tricks produced by one of our members. Right, that's going to come up. Bob Clark did that. I have a gallery for you, and I have, or we have, um, uh, I know his name. His name is Trace. Trace Lennep's going to do one exactly at 7 o'clock on piercing. Yeah, and he went out and bought a piercing machine, got started on it today. But he called me earlier. We got to start at 7 because we got some weather pumping in on us in South Louisiana, and well, really, it's from about Tennessee and just sweeping its way on down. And it's given us a lot of hell this week. And we just went through a tornado a week ago. Oh, by the way, I did that, and I wrote it in the wrong page. Gary is going to be doing a little slideshow with us following the piercing demonstration, and that's going to be concerning some wood he's got, a program he's got, and maybe a way for you folks, you turners, to help him in his quest. And we're going to let Gary do that. I don't want to burst his bubble before he gets here. But we're going to have, I think we're going to have a pretty interesting program this evening. Get a lot of input or photographs for our newsletter and our promos and our website and our gallery. And I thought that yesterday I was playing around a little bit, yesterday I was just toying around. I was under restrictions. But I was thinking, boy, I wish I had some photographs come in. I mean, within the hour, U-Turners heard me because I was bombarded within the next hour. I mean, and some of these people I don't recognize the names on, from Greece, from China, from Vietnam. There's a vacation for you. But they're sending all kinds of photographs to us, and I am loving it. The work they're turning out is awesome. I mean, we get a fella in I believe it's in Vietnam. he's standing on top of a column or a pillar that he turned. It's got to be 16 feet long because he ain't that big and he's already on the top of it. But Flock Pham Dung, I think that's the way his name is. He submitted stuff last week, and we're picking up new folks every week. I mean, and it's nice. And you know what it's nice is you get to see what they turning, and then you can start working on it and see what comes up. Because boy, this is like going to the gallery at SWAT. Better than AAW. I mean, there's so much variety here, and it's not. This is turning from folks who are on a budget. I'm saying budget. That's a nasty four-letter word around here. But these folks may not be able to travel to the symposiums and travel to the workshops and travel to the big gatherings and stuff. They can't travel there, but they can go in their living room and join us and show us their work. They do it every single week, but we have to show them our work too. So, and I had a beautiful piece I was turning yesterday. It's not big, but it's complicated, and you wouldn't believe what happened. This little sapper from Russia snuck in while I was in the bathroom and blew it up. It's in a million pieces on the floor. I was out. I was in the toilet. I missed the whole thing, but you can't trust those people. You just can't trust them. All right. I don't know if Dane's in yet. I can't get the participant list. There he comes up. I see Dave's in here. Trey's in here. Brenda's in here. Good gang. Wow. Y'all popping in. Doug Miller's popped in.
Howdy.
Hey.
Hello, Doug.
How to do?
And if you Pete Meyer sent in some platters or plates that he did some inlays on. They're going to be in the gallery next week. I got them too late to do them today, but he turned. Boy, I tell you what, I love doing plates and platters. It's an excellent chance to play with embellishment, and I mean, you saw what we saw a couple. Bob Moffat did something the other day with us last week, with it being out of circle or whatever. I'm lost on that, but Bob Moffat did one. But I've got like 25 or 30 platters or plates hanging in my hall outside my shop, and I played with embellishment on every one of them. There was no such thing as turn a simple plate. You can buy one of those at Kmart. But when you make your own and you can play with the design, years ago I went crazy and I thought I'd make plate trivets, and that's a wooden frame or a wooden outline to set a dinner plate into. And I found 10 plates the same size. Came back, made 10 of those. Turns out they were pretty rotten stuff. They didn't last long, but it was a fun project because it was like doing duplicates or copies, but they had to be right because that plate had to fit in there just right. And over the years, I've learned shortcuts. I'd change the shortcut a little bit, and make it maybe a little bit easier to get it into. I was looking for the list of folks in here because I don't see Dane in yet. Oh, let me tell you something. I posted on our Facebook page and on my Facebook page, and I'm probably doing this wrong. I posted the newsletter yesterday, and I posted other things. I posted promos, the gallery, and all that goes on those too. Dane called Doug. Doug called me about how to make them public or shareable. Now, when Doug and Doug's working right now, he's saving America. When I put it on my page, Doug says he can get it as shareable. When it's on the club page, he can see it, but it's not shareable. Okay, I need somebody to tell me, what do I do to make this thing, anything I post on Facebook, shareable? How do I do it? When do I do it? I know about the three buttons and clicking everybody and all that, but it didn't work for the club. So somebody give me some tips on that, if you would.
Eddie, I got one quick tip on your light burn. In your light burn program, go to help and go down to support forum, and you probably get a response on your issue.
Okay. Because I got light burn, and then it says about all this, but you know, I was a master at CAD. I want to work for a developer, and then for an architect, and then and for myself. And this is so much like CAD all over again. But if you jump off one machine with CAD and jump on another, you better have two hats, because they get going, you know, two different directions. And I just believe I haven't learned where my limits are, and what the abilities are, and what I have to be careful of. And that's what I'm playing with. So, hey, I got a question for you, for all of you. What club do you belong to? Not this one. What club do you belong to? Okay.
None.
All right, but we have folks that do belong to, not you, Andy. We understand why, you know. Avoid I getting a look. But
I agree with you. Ain't nothing close to me. I ain't driving an hour and a half.
I don't blame you. The one here locally that I helped found years ago, you know, they don't have any idea where they are, where they're going to meet next. And they got Mark Slade coming in 10 days or 12 days to do a demo for them. Where? I don't know. It's also, you know, sometimes management works and sometimes it doesn't work. But I'd like to know, and you can put it in chat, what club do you belong to? I mean, we got Detroit area Woodturns, we got Alamo, we got Brazos, one or two from Florida. Come on, give me the names of those groups you belong to, because they all belong to your group. So, you know, I'd like to. In fact, even, you know, Donald belongs to a group somewhere down in Australia, don't you, Donald?
No, there's no groups near me.
Oh, nothing. Well, hey, you know, knock on your neighbor's doors and tell them to join us here. We got room, plenty of room on the tailgate, plenty of room. But I'm trying to find out, and it's just that somebody called this week, and by the way, folks, something we're doing is right. Something. Folks keep calling to offer us something if they can be. They want to give us something to be part of the team. Like, look, I'll give you 6 of these and 3 of these, and you can give them away. And I really get a lot of surprise from folks when they say, we're not interested. We have no method of giving anything away. We have no roster, no numbers, no, we can't do a drawing box or anything like that. So, no, I'm interested in what you can bring to us for talent, for pure, raw talent. And if the tools are so great, even, I tell my wife that today, even the best tools in the world don't have any experience. None of them. None of them come with experience. I'm looking for your experience with that tool. You've done it. You've been turning something, a spindle or whatever, and you put your skew up there, and your mind went someplace else, and your skew went all the way across the piece. Put that little decoration in it, right? That happened to me this afternoon. I know how to fix it. Pulled it off the trash can, put another one on. I wasn't going to get that aggravated with it, but when I did that, my first thought was, I know how to use a skew. I can make it walk and talk. What did I do wrong? And I got to thinking about it. I saw a demo done here with one of our members, and he had a little technique of presenting it to do a really fine bead with the long point down on a skew and the way he walked it in. I've done that a lot, but you got to be thinking about what's happening there. And boy, if you just lose track of just 1 second, and it's called read the bevel and play by it. I didn't read the bevel, and I didn't play by it. And but I did like the piece I was turning. We'll go back. There's more wood.
Wood grows on trees, after all.
Really?
What I heard today.
Well, I tell you what, I live in South Louisiana. We got a tropical storm blowing in on us this afternoon. We're going to start at about 1 hour for Trace with his demonstration because he's worried about that weather heading his way. But right now, I know we got sustained winds over 35, 40 miles an hour outside, and it's gusting up. And I expect to see all the junk and trash that I hadn't gotten hauled away from the shop that went down. I expect to see it in the neighbor's yard. I won't look too hard, but it's out there.
I'll let you know when it's coming. We'll get it first.
Oh, you'll get it first, Billy?
We always get it first.
But I thought, looking at the picture, the weather chick on TV.
Yeah, maybe simultaneous the way it's hooked. Yeah.
Yeah, the weather chick said, Homer was kind of in a safety zone down there. You were one level below us. But, some of these places can't take any more abuse. And that's what we're going to talk to Gary about in a little while. Abuse and what we can do about it. And really, what does it say about first responders? They're first. Joke of, I was in EOD, explosive ordnance posed in the Air Force, and the joke was, if you see me running, follow me. I'm not gonna run to the blast. I'm leaving. So and today, if you see me running, be amazed.
Yeah, that's a bomb squad shirt.
I've got one. It's a couple of sizes small, but I've got one like that. So the logo, the slogan they came up with that rough was, "If you ain't ammo, you ain't," and there's a 4-letter word at the end of it. Ayas, and somebody sent me a patch the other day that had that on it. It's funny. Social media can be our best friend and our worst friend, and that's what happens. Well, it's just like newspapers or TV or radio or whatever. I did 25 years in radio, and what do you want the truth to be today? Well, we'll work on it. I love the social media thing that came out where Will Smith slapped that guy. Now, if that wasn't organized, or put together, somebody missed the boat, because that made that show the most talked about thing this week.
Eddie, if you look at the video, Chris Rock doesn't even move. When was the last time you got hit in the face and he didn't move?
Right.
Well, he does sort of flinch. He does sort of flinch. If you watch it closely, he does sort of flinch, right? He sort of sees it coming. It's like he can't believe it, but he sees it coming. He does sort of flinch right before the impact. So
hands in his pockets. His hands in his pockets, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever thought it was going to happen. I'll bet he thought it was just going to be words.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Didn't one of those guys play Ali in?
Yeah, Will Smith played Ali.
Yeah. So why slap him like a? Never mind. He wouldn't got a slap out of me. But hey,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Considering what all else is going on in the world, that people are talking about that is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's stealing the news. It, like I said, look, if it wasn't produced, somebody missed the boat, because it was well worth it. Just as good as when the guy that that one didn't didn't come out. He sent it in Indian or whatever. I was a lot younger when that happened, but.
Well, my wife read something today and says if it wasn't for Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, we wouldn't know that the Oscars even happened.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. We don't get regular TV, so I wouldn't have known it happened anyway. Hell, I'm missing all those commercials about great car sales and whatever's being sold right now because we watch Roku, so we get the same commercials time and time.
The same. That's why I quit watching Crackle.
Yeah. You know,
I haven't had access to a TV in 15 years, and I don't miss it a bit.
That's interesting. I worked with a young architect, and his boy was 5 or 6 years old, maybe a little bit older, had never seen television. Never. He said there's no need for it.
No, he's right.
I love YouTube. I'd rather watch YouTube than I would television. I can watch what I want to watch.
Get them on live instead of a TV.
Whole world's on YouTube, man.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Can't believe 3/4 of what's on there though.
No.
I have a 5-year-old great grand nephew. He's 5 years old, little bitty guy. He loves YouTube. Loves it. I mean, that's if he had something to do all day, he'd watch YouTube.
There's a lot of good learning videos on YouTube. My grandkids love Blip. They love to watch Blippi. Blippi is amazing the things they teach.
I blame YouTube and Eddie for my wood turning. It's one of the first ones I watched.
Met a few people trying to learn turning through YouTube. Yeah, a tough way to learn, I think, but there's good information and there's wrong information.
Oh yeah, I see some scary ones too.
But we're here on YouTube.
We're on Zoom, but they put us on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube too, eventually.
Yep. You know, it's this thing, when you buy a newspaper, remember those things? When you buy a newspaper, it was full of stuff, all kinds of things. What did you do? You picked out what you thought was relevant, and you didn't read the crap and the make-believe stuff and the people that's going to produce your fortune and all that. You went to what you thought was solid. YouTube, Facebook, Zoom, there you have the choice. You can pick if you want to go see something solid, or if you want to watch somebody be absolutely positively stupid. They're lined up for that.
Do that too. Eddie Dane's in the house now.
Dane's in the house. All right, man.
Absolutely, positively.
Forgot about the time change.
Right.
What I missed?
He's got wood on a machine. Wow.
Yeah, first time in over a week.
Oh. Hey, yesterday I splurged. I went yesterday and bought 2 2x4s. I don't have any more money. Okay. Bought 2 2x4s to chop them up to make some turning stock pieces out of some practice. I'm gonna make. I got to get a hold of Ronnie and do this. I want to make an economy bowl piece so I can turn a teapot for my wife to approve the style and design. And I figure I can turn out a 2x4 before I take a good block and turn it out of it. Because 6.
Who did you rob to afford the 2x4?
Well, we sold the kids.
Okay.
All right, 2x4 was a 2x4 Southern Yellow Pine was $9.74 for an 8-foot piece.
Oh my goodness!
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought prices were coming down.
At Lowe's.
No, they're going back up. They ain't coming back down ever again.
I think you're right about that.
Well, I have heard that the
Bills
supply
around home are going to be real popular.
I have heard that the supply issues are the supply is catching up with demand.
Everybody's used to paying the overpriced price. It'll drop down a little bit and it'll remain stagnant and then keep creeping back up like it normally does on all commodity.
Well, there's other issues. There's other issues too. I mean, you know, gasoline is a near all-time high, and inflation is hitting too. So everything costs more. So
I've been seeing construction going on.
Once you raise everybody's salaries up, like Dane says, it never goes back. Because when you're making more, you don't complain of what it costs, and it just stays up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for those who live on fixed incomes from Social Security,
that's right.
There's no bump coming, folks.
You do get cost of living raises, though. You do have that.
Yeah. Medicare takes
a
care
whole
of that.
$1.20 a year.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more than the $1.20, but Medicare takes care of that with their bump they get.
Oh, it certainly does.
Yeah.
Both my wife and I are on Social Security. We got a good bump, but Social Security went up more than the bump did. I mean, the Medicare went up more than the bump did.
Yep. Yeah, I know what you meant.
I got lucky. I got $1.20 after Medicare and everything went up.
Wow. Get you a bottle of water.
Yeah, it don't sound right, Charlie.
Right.
I love it. One of the local TV stations was interviewing somebody at the gas pump the other day, and this really cute girl was standing next to her car, pumping gas, sucking on the Starbucks, talking about how expensive the car is. She's holding $50 a gallon in her hand.
Well, not to mention the fact she sat in the queue for 15 minutes, idling, burning the petrol while she was waiting to get her coffee handed to her.
I don't know why they make Starbucks anyhow.
I have no room for those.
Close to years, my internet's pretty unstable.
Take what?
That Trey?
Who's the host to Eddie? My internet's pretty unstable.
Oh,
my internet's been
Hey, Eddie, can you set me up for
we'll just have to see how it goes and whether we have to repeat this later.
Okay, that weather is already getting to us.
It is just a line of storms, maybe with elevated winds, but there doesn't seem to be any tornado boxes on the weather. I've been kind of watching it on one of the other browser windows here.
That's been crazy. We got snow yesterday here in Tucson.
I got snow this morning,
and it's blowing north by northeast.
Yeah, I had snow this morning too, Cade. We're supposed to get freezing stuff tonight.
Yeah,
I'll get that sleet and stuff Friday morning.
Crappy.
Yeah.
It was like 85 here yesterday.
Like winter's back.
Yeah, it was like yesterday morning I got up and it was 13 and my wind chill was 4, and it was like, you know, all right.
It was nice.
Yeah.
My temps and wind chill were about the same, and it's going to be about 60 degrees tomorrow up here in Massachusetts. It's weird.
60 degrees in Massachusetts.
I had 63 today. I'll be back down to 30 on Friday.
Yeah, winter's not done with us yet.
No.
Jesus.
It's global warming, so just embrace it.
That's all you can do.
Where's Al Gore at?
I don't know. Didn't he invent this internet though? He should be here.
Al Gore's on his, in one of his beach houses.
Right.
He didn't even believe his own bad science.
He's got a beach house here in Malibu that's huge, and there's not a single solar panel around it.
No, imagine that.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, I'll believe in global warming when the people who are moaning about it start behaving like it's a problem.
Right.
He's probably flying somewhere. He's not concerned about it.
No. Not gonna bug us or our kids or their kids. Or their kids.
Trace, I'm getting an image. Yeah, it's one of your piercings, I believe.
Are you seeing motion?
Yeah,
Yes,
I see
sir,
your
I
hand
do.
moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
The hand model.
I've dropped
That was
off
wax
one.
on.
Zoom has kicked me off several times to come back in, so we'll just see how it goes.
Well, whatever you're doing right now, you're doing it right.
Okay.
Looks good.
That looks great.
Yeah.
Looks
I like that piece. I mean, that's a pretty piece.
Yeah.
Well, when it popped up, I said, "Oh, somebody got a Ben Poe."
Oh.
Might not be, but it is pretty.
That was Ben's. This one's mine.
That's yours. Where's Ben's? You show me again. Wow.
Whoa.
One of Ben's pieces, practice piece. It's a practice piece that he demoed in class.
Brenda says she's got a piece to show.
Yeah, I got her wrote down.
Right.
Thanks for looking out.
Dane, if you came in late, we've got we have Trey lined up to go. Trey's lined up to go at exactly 7. At about 10 minutes to 7, I've got 2 things recorded. One from
Robert Clark.
Bob Clark, yeah, and the other is the gallery we have up tonight. It's we have them both produced and ready. The gallery's already on our website and our Facebook page and any place else I can find it, we can put it. Get a lot of response from the gallery folks, a lot of response. And people like Norbert. Norbert is quick to shoot stuff into us. I mean, photographs of work he's done now and in the past. It's all brain teasers or brain twisters. You know, look at that and say, wow, I think I can do that. Like David last week that made his own lathe. Now that, you know, the guy had a problem with his store-bought lathe, went problem after problem after problem after problem, got rid of it and built his own. As the Dave Swan, and the work he turns out. I was saying tools don't come with experience. Tools also sometimes don't come with limitations. What he created helps him turn out some very awesome looking work, and it hasn't slipped one notch. It's awesome, and we have a little more on. Well, it might be in a newsletter this month about the late. Yeah, to me, it's what I would call a work of art, because that is. He didn't follow any plans out of a book, that's for sure. Hey, for those folks in South Louisiana who have been Bayou Woodturners for a while, have been around in Napoleonville, I heard this week that old Skipper Munson's getting around pretty good. He's had a little eyesight problem, but he's turning piles of Freedom pens each month. Get this, the Napoleonville 7 or 9 used to go there to his shop, really nice place, and turned every Thursday, and it was a gang function, and they turned out some gorgeous work. Ronnie and I went down there once or twice, and I mean, it was impressive. That gang still comes back on a regular basis to cut out pen blanks and size them, and Skipper and his wife drill them, and Skipper turns them and finishes them. There's nobody gonna slow him down. I'm glad to see he's back keeping busy with the turning. That'll take his mind off of all the other stuff in the world. It does for us. Dane, do we have any gallery we can pop into for a few minutes? We have about a little bit of time.
Yeah, we got. Let's go to Brenda.
Brenda.
What's happening, girlfriend?
Already?
You're up.
Alrighty. What you got for us?
I made a cane koozie this week.
Cane koozie.
Oh, nice.
Ah, nice.
Then my nephew wanted his last name put on it.
Cool.
Wow, I've never seen a
That's
Budweiser
nice.
that color.
I had to stop in the middle of making this and go to the store and get a can. Fit it.
Hey, that's good for when you're driving down I-70.
Not glued together yet, but nice and hollow, nice and thin.
Did you use your Hollow Master on that?
Yes, I did.
Awesome. You're getting the hang of it. That's great.
Yeah, it's about the only way I can hollow anything out. Some of it I actually did by hand.
Yeah. What, sandpaper?
No.
Small brick.
Good, good.
What was I gonna say?
Spindle gouge? By hand. You said by hand.
I used the same tool as the
Come on out with it.
yeah, and the flat one. Anyway.
Box scraper?
What do you think?
It looks good. What'd you
I
make
like
it out
it.
of?
Well, I don't know. I thought it was cedar.
No, that's not
You got Parfex? You got Parfex on there?
No,
Maple.
all it's got on it right now is sanding sealer.
Yeah, maple.
Nice.
Good base coat, yes.
No,
Yeah,
I
it's going to
didn't.
make a real nice finish when you go to put the final finish on it.
Yeah. Nobody has any idea what kind of wood this is, though?
No,
Show me the bottom. Show me
Huh?
the bottom.
The bottom. You see the bottom?
Fairly dry wood.
It's
It
real-
almost looks like walnut.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I was
That's
turning
what
it.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. Looks like walnut.
What's the inside look like? See if you can get a shot of it.
Yep. That's walnut.
Yeah, if I was to guess,
Yep.
I'd say walnut.
Yep. Yep.
It's not elm.
It's
I was thinking maybe red elm, but might not be.
I
Said it
don't
was,
think it's red elm.
It's koozie wood.
Koozie wood. There you go, Billy.
Koozie wood.
I'm gonna tell my
I like
nephew.
that one.
I'm gonna tell my nephew it's black cherry.
Go put a copyright on that.
Yeah.
Koozie
Yeah.
wood. It looks good.
My nephew offered me $100 for this.
There you go. I'd
There
take
you
it
go.
too.
I'd take
Give
it.
him, give him his soda and keep the koozie.
That's all I got, guys.
Right
Thank you,
on.
Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
All right. Doug Miller, you're up.
Don't wake them up.
Hi, Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Can't hear you, Doug. You sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. We'll come back to you, Doug. All right, let's go to Billy Dillard. No, he's got
okay.
something.
I'm trying to remember the girl's name. She's a good friend of Matt Harbor, Rebecca DeGroot.
Rebecca
Is that how you say it?
DeGroot.
DeGroot?
Rebecca DeGroot.
Rebecca,
Yep.
Rebecca DeGroot did a video a few days ago about making a little bunny rabbit. And so I figured I would attempt to make one. And this is my first shot at it. It's
That's
supposed to
great.
be more, it's supposed to
That
be
is
more
cool.
egg shaped, but I didn't quite get the egg shaped part of it, but the ears and the tail turned out really nice. But
That
it's
is
just some
very,
scrap
very
pieces of wood, some magnolia and some poplar, and but
I
it
didn't.
was
I
just
didn't watch her.
something.
I didn't
Eastery,
watch
you know?
her whole video. Did you? Did you put the flat on it on like a sanding, like a disc sander or something like that? How'd you put? The flat on?
I did that. You did that after the fact, freehand, and it's kind of like that's the part that would kind of bug me because I didn't know what the angles. She had no dimensions, so everything I was taking was just comparing the size of the wood with the size of her hand and just kind of estimating. And the ears were done with a piece of wood you split down the middle and tape it. Glue it together with a piece of paper, so you're actually turning two ears at the same time and then splitting it apart, making it one. It's one when you turn it. So that's how
turned out good.
Yeah, it was just
That
it
turned
was
out
a first
great.
shot. And
That turned out great.
also did an egg. This is a piece of sycamore, and it was very punky, and I had to put some resin in it, and it's. I didn't do the inside of
Whoa.
it. I just put some sanding sealer on it. That's all I've done to it so far. So I need to buff that out. But it does fit really well. It's just kind of an Eastery theme, but it turned out really well. Something different. Very, very pretty wood. You know,
Oh,
it
yeah,
has a
definitely.
Parfex,
Very nice.
Parfex on it, which was perfect for it because and I redid a bowl, that I had, and this is a Parfex finish on it, and it turned out really well. The initial finish on the bowl was more of a utility type finish, so I was able to put this in my vacuum chuck and just resand it, and then refinish it as per Mark Soleil. But it turned out really well.
Yeah, it looks good, Billy.
A lady was
gorgeous.
wanting a nice fruit bowl, so this will be perfect for that with a Parfex. We don't have to worry about any rotten fruit attacking it. That's all I have.
Yeah, right on. Great job.
Nice. Very
All
good.
right, let's pop back to Doug Miller and see if he's got his audio.
Okay, is that better?
Oh, we can
Much
hear you
better.
now, Doug.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I don't know what was wrong. I was using the headphones I use every week. So anyway, I've been making a bunch of display shelves for the new store that I'm in, and so I took some time out after I got those done, and I did a camphor bowl. This is a piece of camphor. It turned out to be 6 3/4 by 2 3/4. It's got antique oil on it, 3 coats, and then it's abrasive paste on that, and then wax over that. So it came out real nice and clear. The shine is nice and clear. You see a good reflection there.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I don't see any
like
animals or anything in it.
I love that red streak that runs through the grain of camphor. It's just, to me, that's just beautiful.
That's what I was just looking at. Yes.
Yeah.
We know what you were looking at. You were looking for animals and you couldn't find one.
There's a skeleton waving at you.
Oh, that is pretty though. Wow.
Yeah, good job,
Don't
Doug.
get, please don't get us
Great.
Got anything else, buddy?
That's it for me this week.
All righty. Thank you. Let's go to David in New York. What's up, David?
Well, I had an interesting week.
Did you? Tell us.
Yes. Well, I was working on this, and I ended up joining the Band-Aid Brigade because
no,
speed is not always your friend.
Oh.
I learned a bunch of lessons.
What happened?
Excessive speed among them, and I think the tenon broke off. I was just going way faster than I should have. And
Right.
I was very lucky that I had my cell phone in my pocket, because I now have the outline of a cell phone on my chest and a big bruise around it.
Wow. David, you can still save that.
Yeah, I was thinking about gluing it back together because it came off in, a nice clean piece.
Yeah, that or sand the back side of it and make it into a wall sconce.
Yes.
Well, I was thinking about just making it a shop pot that I, throw
wall
stuff in around the
sconce.
shop.
Well, wall sconce with a conversation piece about how it got there.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Plus the busted cell phone. I didn't know that you could actually bend an iPhone 6, but it is actually a nice twist. And I braved going out in the shop again today, and I turned this piece of walnut.
Nice.
Oh, I
Were you
love this
standing
piece
off
too.
were you standing off to the side this time?
Yes.
Okay, that's the lesson you learned.
Well, no, and I learned not to push the speed any more than I really had
Yeah.
to, because this stuff cuts like butter. That other stuff was a little tough, was pretty dry, and it's only got a little oil on it now, but it was a good icebreaker to get me back in the shop turning again.
Yeah, it's always good to get a win right after one.
Yes.
Glad you weren't hurt seriously.
Yeah, my wife is really getting on my case.
Yeah,
She wants to buy me a chest protector from a baseball.
boy. Yeah.
iPhone 12. iPhone 12. That's what you need.
Well, that's what I got now. I got a 12 mini.
Yes, the camera is amazing. Huh?
Is it?
So much better. Just wait till you take a photo with it. It's unbelievable how much better the camera is.
But
Were you wearing a face shield?
oh yeah, I had the face shield was on, and I had safety glasses under the face shield too. So
right on.
But
yeah,
live and learn. Yeah, it happens. And the tenon could have failed whether you're going slow or whether you was going fast. The key thing is you was standing within the line of fire. You need to stay off to the side.
Yeah. Well, it bounced before it hit me because I had it way too fast.
Huh.
Next thing is you survived it.
Yes,
Well,
I had
good.
hanging light fixtures and everything all over the place. So it was an experience.
Yeah. New pair of pants. Right on.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, we're glad nothing serious happened, Dave.
Yep.
That's for
Me
sure.
too.
All right.
And
thank you.
That's it.
All right. Let's go to Bob. Bob, what you got, buddy?
Hey, I've got a deal from last week. You know, y'all were making that dipper. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Good. I can't see. I've got to unmute myself on the screen here. So I can't
look
tell.
at that. That is nice.
Oh, very nice. That turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't hold it like he did. I didn't have those standoffs to go in there, but
how'd you hold it?
I took a 2x4 piece of 2x4, you know, 10 inches long, and chucked it up in there, and then turned the inside of the 2x4 out and crammed this in it, and then put what's that, hot glue around it, hold it in there.
That turned out great.
Bob's probably responsible for a hot glue shortage. I've seen the video on that.
Yeah, it was a lot of hot glue. I didn't want it coming off. I tried that blue tape. I've been successful holding things with that, but it wouldn't hold this one. So anyway, I put that hot glue on it, and it worked fine.
That's nice.
Very nice.
I'm not sure if this is walnut, or I thought it was elm, but
looks like
walnut.
Show me a close up of the grain. Show me a close up of the grain.
Side view.
Let's see here.
Mm-hmm.
Focus here.
No.
The crotch piece.
Oh yeah, that could easily be elm. Yeah, that's elm. You can see the striations between the end growth grains, the year end grains. There's more of them. You rotate it 90 degrees toward the thing. There you go. Now roll it up, so I can see the side grain. No, don't show me the middle. There you go. That bit on the bottom, the bit on the bottom. Show me that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like elm. Could be hickory, but it looks like elm.
I think it's elm. I just I don't know. I've turned several things out of this piece of wood. I got several of them, but they it seems like it deteriorates real fast.
Did it smell like cow pasture when you were turning it? Because elm smells like cow pasture.
It has a definite smell, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's elm, but I don't know. I mean, it gets kind of pithy. You know, it hadn't been there that long, maybe a year, but it just seemed like it deteriorates quite bad. Anyway, I did a Parfex finish on it, and
yeah, it looks
I
good.
thought it turned out pretty good.
Well,
that Parfex was all by hand. You know, it wasn't on the lathe when I did that. It was just putting it on by hand and wiping it off.
Very nice.
That's all I got, guys.
Right on.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's go to the eating out guy.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
I know, right? Every time you turn it on, there he is. He's someplace new eating something.
There you go. The fine places he goes to.
I tell you. Well, I've got a couple little things there. One of them, I guess you consider to be a tip, but and I'm sure people have seen these before. Let's see if I can get it. That's a piece of pine with a hole in it and magnets on the backside. And what it is, just like this. I use them I've got them stuck on my headstock, my tail stock, my bandsaw, and they're great for keeping a pencil handy when you need it. So that's what, just a pencil holder, a couple of magnets, it'll stick to anything.
Good tip there.
Then there's, let's see, I got something else. Let's see, I did see if I can get a look at it here. Switch this around. There it is. Rocking chair.
That is nice.
Oh, that's sweet.
I put that up today, and it was all lathe. Everything except the back slats and the runners were turned on the lathe. It's
Nice,
my first
Johnny.
rocking chair, so I was pretty happy with
Yeah, it looks good.
That's
Looks
in my
good.
things to make is a rocking chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to make one, so I made this
Yeah.
one. I'll make a big one next, I guess. So just see how it's done. But and that's all I've got.
Right
Thank
on.
you.
Very nice.
Thank
Really
you.
nice, Johnny.
Very nice.
Ooh.
And Johnny, in a little while, we're going to be going over to your neighbor, Trace, at 7 o'clock for a demonstration on piercing. We have a couple of things on tap for us tonight, which is nice. This rocking and rolling. Bob Clark did our first member input tip. I did one last week or the week before, but we're soliciting tips and tricks, just like what Johnny just did, about things around the shop. Finding a pencil in my old shop was a challenge, really. It's like I could put it down and somebody snuck in and stole it. You've had that feeling. So Johnny's little tip works out nice. In fact, I've got some spare 3/8" magnets, and that's probably where they're going to go. But Bob Clark's got one following up on something he showed us last week. And I've had a call or two or some messages about others. Here's the deal, members. It's your club. We want you to share that information. We want to see what you're doing. Doug Rowe, I'd love to see how you put your tools in your shop and what you do this and that. I'm getting a lot of people ask me, how are you handling dust control being your shop in the house? It's not as difficult as you may think. See, I don't do a lot of sanding, so I don't have the sawdust problem. Still got the chip problem, and I've got a dust mop and a dustpan and a big vacuum cleaner, and it gets cleaned up a good bit. But what would you do about dust collection? What do you do about dust collection? If you got a secret or whatever, let's share it. Let's pass it all around. There's no such thing as keeping secrets in this world.
Get you a dust deputy. Need a dust deputy, Eddie. Have you got a dust deputy?
Tell me about that thing.
Those are great.
Vacuum hose.
I have never changed my bag in my big vacuum since I put the dust deputy on. It does not reach my bag.
Yep. I got the same thing.
And it
I've
works
got
awesome.
one. Mine got damaged, but I think I can salvage it, and that'll come in. And I got a 25-foot, fairly flexible hose at a local supplier, and with that, I can reach anything in the shop.
How much does that reduce your flow?
I use it with a shop vac. You can't tell. You can't tell you're reducing it. It is just, it's still howling. Okay. I got
How's
maybe
that noise?
a
How's the noise
15-foot
level?
hose. I only use it to clean up. I don't use it to run when I'm turning.
Oh,
Okay, okay,
You know, I use it to clean up.
right.
Yeah, I haven't seen much less in a drop, and the key is no. Works like a inventory. No gaps. If you have to tape the connections, tape them. But if you've got the slightest trace, the volume will drop way off, way quick, and it will pass. It will go past the dust deputy and go right to your vacuum cleaner. The key is that you have to keep it working. I built a couple to fit on my big dust collector out back. Sheet metal, the soldering, the brazing and all. One connection killed me, just one connection. Kept playing with it, but then I found the guy who's in the mining business that builds these things to move rocks and harvest rocks, of all things. And he explained to me the science of it. Once you get it, they're great, but that's a good idea. But I want tips. It's easy.
Hey,
I want
Eddie?
tips. Hey, go.
You see in the chat, John Combs says he just sent his 100th freedom pin to the Coast Guard in Alaska.
Wow.
Wow.
100 pins.
Wow. Wow. John Combs did that? Yeah.
Yeah.
We getting there.
That is awesome.
Yeah. A lot of interesting stuff in the chat tonight. I had to dump out of it to change something, a setting. But we have a lot of freedom pens going out right now, folks. And if you wonder about what's happening in the world, we better not back off on our freedom pens, because we keep committing our people to more and more and more. But they can handle it. They can. They will handle it, pardon me. Later on this evening, we're going to talk to Gary about the status of what's happening in the United States and some things. Not political. It's social. And we'll talk to him about that later on. And I asked earlier, what club do you belong to? I was serious about that. Put it in the chat. If you belong to a wood turning club, just put it in the chat. Let us know what club you belong to. We'd really like to know that. And also, we haven't talked about this in months. Where are you? I know, you're in front of your computer. Where are you? Because our master webmaster, David, has got a map on our website, right on the front page. It shows you where our members are. And I don't think we have the location for the Vietnamese guy, the Peru guy, or the fellow from Greece. And we have another one the other day. I saw it. I can't remember. He's from Western Canada. Yeah, Western Canada. But they're all members of this group. What clubs do you belong to? Eastern Connecticut Woodturners, Rocky Mountain Woodturners, what's Worcester, Ohio? Alamo. Hey, yeah, that's talk about the SWAT. That's where you want to see those guys go to SWAT. Doing them in Brazos, they own the place.
Who's going to SWAT, Eddie? Any
me?
update on who's going? I know Billy Burt's going.
I don't know. See, that's worth the trip right there.
James
That's
DeBro's
what
going.
I was thinking.
Tim Hatch is going.
Tim's going, yeah. And his wife. Yeah.
That's a ploy with Tim. He just bring along to act like a gentleman so that she's doing something else when he buys stuff. That's
Yeah. You got me already, Eddie.
That's why
Mark,
I brought my
Mark Inham, you need to put where you're from so Dave can pick it up and put your mapping location on the wood turning map.
Yeah.
I did that last week, and I'm just looking now, and I'm not there yet.
Well,
hey, don't
he's
rush
got a
our
lot of things
webmaster.
he's doing. Shoot him a private message, and he'll get you on there ASAP.
All right. Yeah, because
I put it again I put it in again this week, so we'll see what happens.
all right.
We'll get it on.
Hey, we have get this members. All these folks doing all this are volunteers. There's nothing more than their willingness to help this club. Dave is building us probably the world's greatest wood turning website. Probably hold that title now. But everything you can imagine dealing with wood turning is on our site. Every time I go there, I'm amazed at the things he keeps adding in, really. And the more we give him, the more he'll add. So if you come up with something like Bob Clark did on his tip tonight, this tip you're going to see is going to Dave. David will probably put it on our website so it's there to to further this, and along with other things, you give it to us, we use it. In fact, speaking of using it, and we just mentioned Dave and Bob Clark with his thing. Let's pop into this right now and see what Bob Clark gave us. Oh, it didn't play.
I live in Palmdale, California, and I'm here to present a video I made on a soft touch live center. It's kind of an adaptation of Captain Eddie's soft touch. It takes a cane tip and installs it on the end of a live center. It's very easy, and it uses just inexpensive cane tip, a little metal washer in the end of it, and the live center you probably already have. Enjoy the video. It's a little cheesy, but it's my first video, so have fun and watch it. Thanks for watching.
Is the washer and the nut and stuff, and that epoxied in the bottom of those things?
No, you just press the washer in the bottom. And if you can't find the washer, a nickel works just fine too.
All right.
What diameter cane tip?
3/4 inch.
Take the spotlight off me and.
Cool.
Oh, look, there's the end of it. I cut it off way too early. So.
We'll play it again in a couple of weeks. See how many people are paying attention.
It's already been posted by the club on YouTube, so it's there.
Okay. And I think I forwarded to Dave, our webmaster, Dave Rhodes. I think I forwarded it on to him.
Yeah, you did.
Now. Yeah. And that's where we store this, folks. So if you need it, that's where you can find it at. I had another just now. I was trying to find it, and I erased it. So we'll catch up on the gallery in a few moments, because I can't throw it up while I'm in the middle of the program. Do we have some gallery still out there?
No, not at the moment. We ran through them pretty quick.
We got a few minutes before we go to Trace for his piercing demonstration tonight. And we've got a couple of things popping up. Oh, if y'all want to tune in on Friday at 5 o'clock, we're going to have a special show, a special meeting. It's our April Fool's meeting. It's going to be, Friday afternoon. Tune in. We'll be there. We wouldn't mess with you.
Eastern time.
Eastern, yeah, that's right. Eastern time. Eastern Daylight Savings Time at that. So, somebody said, who did I promise 2 purple pens to last time? I got the blue ink fills, and the Randall Smith threw it out there.
Doug Rowe.
Doug Rowe, yeah, the Chief Master Sergeant. Senior, first sergeant.
For the Major General for a purple program, mental health program for the Major Generals in charge of the Air National Guard and Army National Guard out here in Arizona.
So so if you got those purple pens, it's Doug Rowe. And his address is on our website where to send it. And the same thing with Freedom Pens. we have several addresses for different branches of the military, but if you can't pick one, send them to Doug Rowe. Doug will distribute them throughout. You got a uniform on, Doug Rowe's looking for you. Hey, Trace, hey, Dane, before we go to Trace for a demo, can we go to Trace for a gallery show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's pop up Trace here and see what he's got.
There he is.
Let me zoom out on this. After the chip carving present thing from last week, I went and made a strop and for owning my knives. Another strop.
What is the surface?
It's very strapping. Leather. It's piece of cherry and leather on both sides, and this side has a compound on it, and that gives you a finer razor sharp edge on it.
Old timer. You need the compound, it helps.
It has compound on it.
Yeah.
It has the
Jewelers Rouge.
This is the compound that I put on it. Wondering what's happening with the light.
You almost had it.
Our eyes aren't young enough to read it, Trey.
Okay.
Blue velvet.
Dropping compound. And that's what I have on. The other thing I did, I've been playing with, is working on some Banksia pod. Go back out. Working on some Banksia pods. This video, I haven't cut it to fit all the way, but it's little Christmas ornaments. And there is a trick that I've learned on Banksia pods. These center pieces are not fixed in fully. So if you're going to hollow a Banksia pod out, I soak this area with super glue before I hollow it. I turn the outside of it, and this joint is soaked with super glue to hold those little eyelets in. Because if you throw the eyelets out, it looks like crap. And I also turn it a little slower. I don't speed it up on it.
I love that.
So, but soak these eyelet things with super glue, because if you don't, you will throw, maybe one out of three that you start turning, and then you might as well trash them.
Okay. Any tricks for the needles from it?
Needles?
Oh, just the way the shavings are. Yeah.
It's nothing but dust. All it is. It's very, very dusty. That's what you get out of it.
Yeah.
It's just a little,
Wear a mask.
That's probably the best thing to say. Just wear a mask and a fan to keep things blowing off of it.
Yeah. Those little hairs are like. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say those little hairs are like asbestos.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Was the little
They
hairs.
stick to everything.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Trace. In about 1 minute, we're going to be with Trace. He's going to do a demonstration for us tonight. We're going to talk about piercing, and that's what I think is what this says. Well, there he is. Ocean Springs, Mississippi on piercing tonight. And Trace is going, I tell you what, I love this piercing thing. You can decorate almost anything that doesn't move, and then those pieces are in danger. Trace, did you do this piece here?
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm up on it.
Yeah, you're on.
This is a piece I did in one of Ben Poe's classes, and it's nothing more than a piece of plywood, thin plywood, and was working on airbrushing and piercing. And you got a butterfly in there. The butterfly's cut out first, and then you go all the way to the edges around here, getting the rest of this in here on these other joints. If you airbrush a piece, airbrush it before you pierce it, though, always. And the reason why is when you put the masking down for the airbrush, you could break out some of the piercings. But this was a practice piece I did. I showed you the worst first. I should show you the better one now. This is a piece that Ben Poe did during in the class. And a couple things I'll point out. This is just a little swirly. If you notice the pattern on here, he's got a dragonfly here. The wing is pierced outside of it, but inside of the pierced area, he kept it solid. And these are just little ziggly lines is all they are. And the other thing that is happening on here, there's no firm line between this and the piercing. So what he's done is he's graduated it on out. He sort of shaded it on out with piercing. Same thing down in this section here. These are waves. This is a waveforms here. Same as this pattern here. But it's a waveform. It's pierced, and it has the individual sections in it. And then he's also added a few things transitioning on out to the outside of it.
That's some amazing work, really.
A couple other things. These are some stuff I've done. So I'll back this out. This is I've done several lighthouses, and left the fish in there, pierced around it. Same thing on that side, and then added musical notes at the top of it, piercing around the edges. The Pascagoula River is known as the Singing River, and that's the reason for the design on it. It's the Singing River with the music flowing around it. So it's representative of the Pascagoula River.
Cool.
And that was just straight pierced on that. This one here, I've got a fish up at the top of it. And I've done just little swirly things on the front of it. And on the back of it, where the scales are, I sort of did little shapes on there. For the fins, I just added the lines on there. And the rest of it is just open piercing. That's on this side here. This is representative of Katrina's, what the whole thing's for. Going backwards on this. Let's see, get this back out. This was representative of the storm with the pattern, with the hurricane patterns swirling around on it. Rough waves. I broke the top of it. Actually, this is challenging to do that, and this is very challenging to try to make it look like it's broken. And the top, it's gold leafed, and then I damaged it and did some brushing on it. And hurricane flags torn up. And this is representative of recovery from the storm. And that spells HOPE in the signal flags. Another piece on piercing. Again, similar fish pattern at the top. I've thrown a crab into it, which I've got a shape in there, but I also airbrushed it in there to help highlight it. Down at the bottom, I've got a crab that I simply put into the middle of it here, and he flows up into the other section. His claw actually moves around here, it's pierced here, and then comes back into the section here. And his foot's coming in here too. Another fish, crab here, and his fins are dropped back into the piercing. The other thing that's sort of neat on this, look at the color here. It's blue now, and it comes back around, and it changes color as it's on the edges.
That's neat.
See the color change? It's green on that side, and as it goes back around, it'll turn to blue.
Yeah.
I'll show you what that is. It's nothing more. And you look at the details, it's simply a scratch pattern into it. And it's airbrushed blue in this direction and green in this direction. So when you look at it straight on, you see it combined. But when you come back on the other side, you see the green, see all the green here. And this way, it's all blue. On it.
That's awesome. I've never heard of anything like that.
That's beautiful, Trey.
And this is the last little piece I did, and it's similar piercing. It's just this piercing here is just a little zigzag piercing around here. And I just added the paint lines to it, crab thrown into the middle of it, and continuing with the ocean wave pattern. And this was just simply to put some highlight on it. So.
That is fabulous.
Yeah, badass.
What's the material you used for the wood?
Cool. I think it's pear. I think pear is what I've used on most of these.
Incredible.
Very nice. Gorgeous work, Trace. Gorgeous work. Thank you.
Very nice.
What are you piercing it with?
What do I do? What?
What are you piercing with?
Well, that's what I'm gonna get to. I'm gonna flip over my camera to the other side, and we'll get over there, and that's what I'm gonna get to. And this was just showing some examples and some of the stuff I've done to get to do it. So, and I'm moving over to the other side over here. And what I am piercing with, I'm using a Presto NSK. It's made by NSK. It's a Presto, it's the brand name. It's the one without the water on it. The dental labs use it. It's where it normally was used from. It's high speed. It turns up about 350,000 RPM. And it sounds like a dentist is what it sounds like when you're there. I'm running it through. I guess I got to move this around a little bit. You can see it. I don't know, I'm probably hiding from everything else. It's hard to move. I've got a little regulator over here that I'm bringing my air into it. I got a little regulator here to maintain it, dryer, and then a valve on here to turn it on and off. Stay when I'm doing anything. The bits I am using on it, there are two types of bits that I'm using, that I use. This one is a 699L, and I also use a 169L. The difference between the two is the 699L you use for hardwoods, the 169L you use for softwoods. And that's really the primary difference between the two. The L indicates long. And in both cases, these bits are nothing more than a long tapered bit. Try this. I'll try to get the zoom all the way into it. Right. Now focus.
Are they carbide, Trey?
Yes, yes, they are carbide.
Thank you.
It's the same thing the dentists use. And it's,
Yeah.
it's strictly a real fine taper bit on it. And they're carbide bits, they're not abrasive.
Thank you.
When you're putting that bit into the tool, because the bit is so long and tapered, if you're careful, you'll bust it. They make a little insertion tool that has a hole in the end that's sized to be able to grab that bit, and it's put in by just simply pushing in there. It's a friction fit. And to remove it, you turn this back off again.
Oh, there you
You
are.
rotate this and it pops it back out.
Good boy. I've been
So it's
waiting.
easier to put it in and out. And again, these are dental burrs.
Good boy.
So let's go ahead and pierce a couple things. I just did this earlier this afternoon, and there was just a pattern on there that was pierced on it. I also played around with, if you can see, I don't know if you can see this on here. You see a color shift between red and blue. Can you see it or not? I don't know.
It's showing up. The red is not coming out really red, but it's like
It's almost like red dots. It's stippled, not pierced. Stippling being just a polka dot pattern on it with a round burr. Well, let's go ahead and get a little piercing in. Now, when I pierce, I like to move from right to left. And the reason why is I get to see what I'm getting into. I get to see the part that I'm getting to. So I'm coming in here, insert clockwise. If I need to clean it up, I'll go the opposite direction. And I'm telling you the wrong thing. I want to go from left to right, not the other way. There's a reason for it, and the reason is that when I pierce this here, see, it just melts. I want to be able to see if I'm right-handed. If I move it in that direction, I can see what I've just done, where to get my line to. Okay, this bit, and it's not dirty yet, but this bit will clog up. The way to clean it, I got a piece of aluminum here. You can use steel or aluminum, doesn't make any difference. And I'll clean some of the shavings off the bit. Remember, it's carbide, so it won't dull it. And because the bit is moving so fast, it has no torque on it. It has no directional control. You control it fully by the direction you move it. A slower speed bit will actually will try to pull in a direction.
Now, Trey, if you wanted to widen one of those holes, would you just start cutting at the part where you wanted to widen?
When you take widen, you make the hole bigger?
Yes.
Yes, I can come in here on this one here
Very cool. Thank you. Excellent.
And then cleaning it up, you go the opposite direction. Now, I will come back afterwards. I didn't bring any out here. I use those little Swiss files to do cleanup. Because this edge right here, if you notice, it's not perfectly flat. And I'll take that little Swiss file and clean it up with the file. And that's pretty much, I didn't do a very good job of, but that's pretty much. The other one is the other pattern that's just a little zigzag pattern that you saw that Ben used. That was strictly something like that.
What would be the maximum thickness you would use those bits for?
This one here is, I guess I'm about 1/8 of an inch. I would recommend a thickness from 3/32 to, maybe 5/32.
Thank you.
A 1/16 of an inch is too thin. The problem is it gets very easy to break if you get too thin. So a little bit thicker than that. So that's the reason why I said 3/32. 1/8 inch is about ideal. If you get too thin, it breaks out too badly on you.
Thank you.
And I could just keep on going and doing stuff, but that's the basic. Here's that little scratch pattern is nothing more than a pattern of that nature.
And is that what you did to do your scratch pattern before you did your painting with the
Yes, it
green
is.
and blue paint?
I did this one a little bit between the blue and red. It's more red that direction. It's probably hard to see, but more red that direction, and then you got the blue in that direction. And it's
It's coming through purple on this side, but you can see it on the blue and green on your vessel.
Yeah.
Which bit are you using for scratching, there, Trey?
It's just simply it's a square. It's not a one of those. It's a different bit, and it's just a straight square bit.
Okay.
It just the shape of it. I need Johnny's pencil plan, but the shape of it of that bit there is just like that.
Okay.
Okay. With the taper bit comes in as really, really super fine point on the taper. The dentists don't use that bit very often because it doesn't fit. It's not fitting what they do. They use a different set of bits usually because they're working on drilling on the teeth and stuff like that. So most of the bits they're using are slightly different, but they make 200 or 300 different type of shapes of bits.
Where do you get your bits? Where do you order them from?
I've got them from a couple different sources. This came from Microcopy. It's the company that I purchased it from. This is from a dental supply company. Microcopy is the company I bought this one from. I think that's the same one as those others.
How long do those bits last, Trey?
Usually you got to break them before they wear out. It's such a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. It's very easy to break.
And they're super hard. They're designed to chew up enamel. So
Yes.
But Bob, you asked how long they'll last. How often will you clean it? He just told us about cleaning that tip off. Once it starts gumming up, the heat will become unbearable for it, and it will fracture.
What you wind up having on there, as it gums up, you will wind up all the way around the bit. That's the same. The bit actually will wind up with nothing but wood, clogged up on it, and it will stop cutting. It'll burn and stop cutting. So that's the time to clean it. This one here still looks pretty good, but once you start using it, at least every few minutes or so. But any of the dental supply companies is your best source of bits. Depends on how many you're going to use and that kind of stuff. There's few other companies that sell them. I think some of the carving places sell them and stuff like that. You pay a lot more for them, but they sell the smaller quantities. But the key thing is 169L, 699L, and that is hard and soft on wood types. That's the key right there. So those sizes. Those are the two primary sizes you use. The other shape you'll use is a ball shape. And the end of it is nothing more than a ball, and you'll use it for stippling. And that I can just push straight in. And stippling is just putting little dots down.
You're out of camera.
What size ball end is it?
This ball here is
8 thou.
It looks like it's less than an 1/8 inch. This particular one, but they come in a full range of sizes. And again, it's carbide. The balls come. Okay. I'll zoom in on this. These are two different balls. See if I can find the camera. Okay, both of those are balls on the end of it. This one here looks like a 64th of an inch, where this one here is probably 3/16 of an inch. I'm sure it's all metric, but they come in very, very, very tiny, tiny, tiny balls. And the little balls, there's a good use for them too. I'll slip this little ball on here. Yeah.
Would you clean those on aluminum too?
Well, let me back up. That's what I was actually cutting was aluminum. I just went ahead and on this one here, just sign my name on it. And you can do that on just about anything. You can do it on steel because since it's carbide, you can do it on steel. So I've got a piece of steel handy that's not hardened. I don't know whether this is hardened or not, but okay, I just signed the screwdriver with that little tiny bit. So it'll cut and etch and cut just about anything. I don't use. You can use some diamond on wood, but the problem with diamond is it clogs so badly You know what happens when you sand real fast? Well, this is sanding super fast when you use the diamond. It'll cut it, but it doesn't do as well with it. This is a little diamond, and this is more of a carving. Do it very well. Not piercing, but more of a carving. I'm off camera again, aren't I? Put a big X there. So the tool can be used for more than just simple. That was just a little groove I carved in there. But that little groove, that was a simple little groove, but let's say I have a leaf. That's a quick little leaf with that. So quick little leaf shape. And as I say, the nice thing about it is it's not directional. It's not, it's not really, it's not going to run much. I'm not holding it I'm just holding it like this at the end of it. It's not running. If I had another tool, it would be running all over the place. This would be running. It's going to pull on. It's going to pull and run on, where the higher speed doesn't.
What air pressure are you running that at, Trace?
I'm running this about 35 psi.
And he did mention he has a dryer, and the dryer is a critical part of the system.
Yes, it is. Let's see if I can pull that part over so you can actually see it.
Bob is asking, what is the difference between the 4-hole and the 2-hole?
It was on the demo.
This is what I have set up for. This is what I've set up for controlling my air. I have my compressor is hooked up to here. Regulator, keep it, it's down set to about 35. Air dryer, and then I have an on-off valve on it. And I actually use the exact same thing for my airbrush. My airbrush would plug into the exact same thing here. All I do is disconnect this. Now I'm ready to use my airbrush. On the same control. With any other questions that I missed or anything else you want to cover, or you can sit here and watch me do some piercing, but it's redundant.
Trey, what does the dryer do?
The dryer makes sure there's no water coming in and getting into the tool.
Okay.
I don't have a problem in my shop with water, so it's probably not that big a deal. It's probably not that big a deal on right here. And it's because the way my air is distributed in my shop and everything, I don't have a water problem with it. But I did at one time have water problems with
I live in the desert and water is not a problem, but occasionally I just drain the pressure in the bottom of the tank and let the little waters in there drain out.
You should be draining that daily, and I'm guilty of not doing that too, but it should be done daily. And it's not because of water getting into your air from the tank. The problem is it's corroding the inside of your tank.
Yep.
And it becomes a bomb.
I'll get lazy.
Well, I tell you what I did downstairs, and I'm still lazy with it too, but I moved and put a valve so I don't have to reach up underneath my tank to drain it. The valve sticks out from underneath the edge of the tank, and I can reach down there and turn it. And I have a hose from that tank going outside to blow the water outside instead of blowing it in my shop.
The water comes from the humidity in the air, which you pull in. When you condense the air by compressing it, the temperature drops, so you get condensation, and the condensation is what collects within the lines and in your equipment that you use. So no matter where you're at, sea level or even in the desert, you'll have 5, 7, 8% moisture. Even that will cause issues. So it's the temperature drop when you compress it that causes the condensation. That's why you need the water collector.
Your temperature actually rises when you compress it. However, if I take air and compress it, I will increase the humidity of the air that's in there. Water doesn't compress, so if I start with 50% relative humidity and compress it 4 times what it was, I now have gone to 200% humidity, and that means that half that water is going to go out and get into your tank.
It has to go somewhere, yes.
It will get out and go into your tank. And once your tank cools back off from the hot air going into it, it will condense in your tank.
Yes.
If that hot air is getting into your air lines, it will condense in your air lines and blow water through your air lines.
They recommend at least 20 feet between the compressor and your equipment that you use to blow with your gun, I can't think of the term right now, but whatever equipment you use, they recommend 20 feet, 25 feet between the tank and your equipment that you use to expel the air, to propel the air, I should say.
Wow.
I wrote an article that's posted on our website on removing the air in your lines and stuff. Go look at it. It goes into a lot of detail on what you need to do to help. If you plumb the shop, the best way to get control that air moisture in your lines. But you will have, you're very likely, with a regular compressor, you're likely to have water in those lines, and you need to get it out of the lines before it gets to your tool.
Yeah, every day.
And you make a little ice ball when you drain your tank.
Ask again, Dane.
I said you generate a little ice ball when you drain your tank.
Yeah, because it does the opposite. When you compress it, it heats up, and when you expand it, it cools down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even out here in 100-degree Arizona.
Yep. Well, that's the way the refrigeration process works with Freon and everything else. It's the same process.
Yep.
And the problem is if you get the hot air in your lines and in a line, and you don't get the water out of those lines, it will go all the way to your tools. It may not be as bad in Arizona as it is in Mississippi, but I used to blow water out of my regular airlines when I was before I changed my plumbing around to support it.
I worked offshore for a general contractor, and almost all the tools we used were air powered, and the major culprit in having them fail was moisture, because some of our workers just didn't understand what that water filter was for, or how important it was, or the routing of the hoses, et cetera, to build up water traps before they got into equipment, or even using blowdown equipment and not cleaning the lines out. It moves after that. So, all right. Any other questions for Trace tonight?
Let me add one additional thing. That water separator will remove water. It will not reduce the humidity that's in your airline. So if you're blowing hot air out, if you're getting hot air out of your compressor, the compressor's running, got hot air into it, and the hot air is getting into your airlines, and then you have a dehumidifier at your compressor, and you're blowing the hot air into your hoses, the air will cool down in your hoses, and water will condense in that hose past that air dryer. You need the air dryer at your line. That's right before it gets to the tool, the final section in there.
Mine's right where yours is, right about 1 inch away from my regulator, and that's on a 3 foot of hose up to my tool. My in this case probably a dozen years old and runs like new. But I have played with the less expensive ones, and I say played. Some of us have gotten costly experiences from that. The article Trace has on airlines is on our Woodturners, worldwidewoodturners.org website, designing your shop airlines to control water. And David Rose just put a link of that into our chat. And that's, ooh, my jaw hurts.
Yeah.
You can also use a dental drill to pierce too. That's another option. Like the one I'm showing in my hand. The only thing you do have to do is you have to get an adapter to come off the back of the tool. It's a special adapter. Well, it's because this tool was designed for air in, water in, and everything else. So it's designed to have water blowing through it and everything else. So they make adapters for them, and this is actually a 4-prong plug, and that will plug into that. There you go. What's it dent? Then it's throwing into the box. That plugs into there, and that screws onto there. And the only thing I've hooked up is to the air side of it, but it's made for air and water. The hoses has air and water going through it. So, and then there's a return. There's an air in, and there's a return on the air on the dental thing. So they're not blowing all the air in your mouth. It'll work too. Just make sure you get one that has a high enough thing on it. May be hard to find, but they do make a little router stand that supports the NSK. It's a little plastic stand.
I believe I got mine from Treeline, which was at one time was an excellent source for that equipment, bits, etc., etc. Let me caution you, if you're buying bits off of eBay, it might not be the deal it looks like.
It is eBay.
Okay, any other questions or comments for Trace tonight?
One more
Excellent demo,
question,
Trey.
Trey. One more
Yeah.
question. Now, you said that that's going, what's the RPM on your tool?
About 350,000.
Okay, so that, like that blue motor that you have for a rotary, that's over on your right, you panned it earlier?
You talking about this?
Yes, that's not fast enough?
This
No.
turns 35. This turns 35,000. This turns 350,000.
Okay.
Actually, I think this turns about 25.
Yeah, for the, is that a master carver tray?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I have the same one, and I have used those dental bits on the top speed with that and been able to pierce, but the NSKs or the dental drills work a lot better.
Okay, thanks,
It'll pierce, but if you remember what you're dealing with, when you get down to it, remember when you get to the center of your turning, which is the center part of your turning, your cut slows way down. So this bit is so tiny at the end of it. If it doesn't turn fast, it's not going to cut as well. And what's going to happen is it's going to cut slower. And yes, you can use the dental bits with this. It's just a lot slower cutting, especially if you try to go to the 699L and 169L. They're very, very tiny on there.
Anything else for Trace tonight? Trace, thank you, sir. You cleared up a lot of mysteries and answered some questions. Now it's up to our membership to jump on board and see what we can decorate. I went to a workshop with Ben Poe, and then I met him again when his book and items came out in Mobile. It was an awesome exhibit, and just to see the variety of work that this man produced was unbelievable.
I got one thing I do want to add and show you. Okay, I'm back to the other screen. One thing I'm proud of right here. Right
Did
there.
you get him to sign your wall?
He signed my wall. I got him to airbrush his chop in there and little dragonflies.
That's awesome, dude.
My wall signed by him, and I also have signature Gorse on it.
Gorge the Blessers was one of the finest ornamental turners in the world.
Yeah. And there's Mark's signature, Mark Soleil, Jimmy Clues, Dave Lindell. But anyhow, I've got Ben's Post signature up in my shop. So
Great.
I'm making you dizzy walking around the shop. But
You are.
Thanks, Trey.
Grace, another thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Really, really nice. I appreciate that. And I was talking about Ben Poe's work. It's great. He's got a fantastic book out there that shows his work. Unfortunately, you can't get his learning experience from anything, pardon me, except standing next to him watching him work. And it's don't watch what he's working on. Don't watch the output. Watch the technique. Boy, I tell you, it changed the entire way you look at things. Earlier tonight, in the meeting, we had a demonstration. I'm sorry, a tips and tricks. We talk about tips and tricks, or I have for the last couple of weeks, because every time you come up with something in your shop that makes your turning, my turning, their turning better, it's a tip or a trick. Well, Bob Clark had put one together for us a couple of weeks ago, and this evening, I played it and I messed it up. So with no further ado, if we got any ado at all, here it is.
Hello, woodturners. My name is Bob Clark. I live in Palmdale, California, and I'm here to present a video I made on a soft touch live center. It's kind of an adaptation of Captain Eddie's soft touch. It takes a cane tip and installs it on the end of a live center. It's very easy, and it uses just inexpensive cane tip, a little metal washer in the end of it, and the live center you probably already have. Enjoy the video. It's a little cheesy, but it's my first video, so have fun and watch it. Thanks for watching.
Absolutely.
Wow. And this time I think I actually stopped the tape. I got it right. Great job, Bob. And I'm glad this time I realized I had to play it all the way through. And I'd watched it before. I just missed it. If you've got a tip or a trick you want to share with the membership here, all you have to do is produce it. Now, you can shoot it on your camera phone. You can shoot it on your iPad or whatever you want. And that Bob just showed, he says, his first video. Bob, that was an awesome job for your first video. And you used iMovie to generate the trailer, correct?
Correct. I use the iMovie to generate the trailer, and then if you go into where the script is in the trailer, you can change all the titles to what you want, And then there's a little thing where you convert the trailer to a movie, and then you can add any other scenes in you want. So that's how I did that.
And iMovie is a free program in your Apple deal, but it's out there in the DOS-based or window-based units also, and it's a fun thing to play with. That's why I did the promos for the club. Is it's not difficult. All I need is material. So when I ask you to mail me photographs of your work and send me tips and tricks and hints, and right now I'm collecting moving shots, action shots, and I can't get them off of YouTube, and I can't get them off Facebook. There's problems with that. So, but if you shoot a video of you turning a piece, or Dane loves to do it in slow motion and all, send it to me by email, and then I can use it, and I will use it for that. Also, tonight I'm asking, what club do you belong to? Would you want to get inquisitive? That's all. What clubs do we have representative here? I got a pretty good list going. Save the chat tonight when you leave. Also, we have some ideas on IRDs that's in shows and programs, etc. That's in our chat tonight. So you're interested, check it all out. Save the chat when you get done. In a moment, we'll go to Gary. He's got a little slideshow and some information for us all to share and be part of. Billy Dillard, if you're with us, Billy, it's here. We're talking about the weather tonight with Billy said it'll come through him first. I don't know if it got to you, Billy, but it got to me. I'm about 67 miles northwest of him. I'm sorry, northeast of him. So whatever, he's over there, I'm over here. All right, let's go to Billy right now. Gary, are you available for us tonight?
I am ready to go.
All right, go ahead, sir. Talk to us.
The whole reason for this, I have two questions that I would like some assistance from the group, and also show a couple of slides to kind of give some background, and especially for anybody that lives probably Rocky Mountains or west, has not experienced anything like this. But let's see if I can bring up my slideshow.
You're up to share.
Okay, can you see my backyard? This is down at the Lake Texoma. It is in the Buncombe Creek Marina area for the lake, and that lake is shared between Texas and Oklahoma. I was up on my roof after the tornado this last Monday and assessing how many shingles I lost. Well, I lost a few ridge rows, but this is out the backyard. That was an oak tree that is about 26 inches in diameter. Can you see my arrow as I move my cursor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, this is where the stump was. This fell through the back fence. It damaged this guy's barn. You'll kind of see how range tornadoes and also hurricanes are, and how they will affect one and right beside it not affect the other. This people's house, they had a porch on the backyard, and they did have a porch on the front yard. They did have a carport on the other side of this metal building. Anyway, this log, which is probably between 1,700 and 2,000 pounds, has now been moved with a skid steer over to my sawmill. So it will be lumbered. Going to my front yard, as I say, I cannot believe how lucky I was. If we zoom in a little bit right here, I lost a big tree right here, but it had been had some rot in it. Last year I had it trimmed, so when it fell, it damaged a little bit of the corner of my metal building, this little shed. That was it. However, underneath it, here's a boat trailer without the boat, of course, and another boat trailer. These were owned by friends of mine that wanted to store their trailers. So I said, sure, go ahead. What could happen to him? Yeah, okay. And how close things came to me. Also, something else of interest. These sycamore trees, they are no longer there. The power company has cut them down because they were too close to the power lines. This trailer right behind us, there's another trailer in between, and we will actually see those in just a moment also. And another note, this tree right here, it is, well, we'll see where it is a little bit in a moment. Here we are, we've actually cleared where the white trailer had been. We're working on the black trailer. I had a chain tied around here, and they brought in the skid steer to pick that log up off of the middle of that trailer. And both of them remarkably had very little damage to them. This tree right here, we will see in just a moment. This is the trailer that we could see. This trailer here goes right up to my property. It had a big carport here. It is somewhere. Their boat got turned 45 degrees. This trailer to the left side of it is just beyond the right side of this picture. So the trailer that was next to it, that's parts of it. There's about 6 more or more down here. And that's about the most of any of them. No, they see that was a boat, in fact. The trailers are totally gone. That is how close things were to me and how lucky I am. The power company was something else in doing things for us even. There's a fence right here, and you can even see the fence line behind this guy that's doing the cutting. And then the power lines were right on the other side of it. They took that log down, and I had specifically asked them where to cut it here. Once it's down, they cut it right there. And then it fell, and another guy came with a skid steer, picked it up. That one's probably over 2,000 pounds. Throw it on the other side of the fence, on my side of the fence, and then he hauled it over to my thing too. Now, from that tree, this is my first question. What kind of wood was that tree? I've gotten 2 different people telling me things, and they have slightly different conflicting ideas. Does anybody have any ideas of what kind of wood this is?
You got a leaf for it? You got leaves?
Unfortunately, no, because nothing's in bud yet. I mean, buds are just starting to form.
Looks like willow.
No.
No?
Well, does willow get to be about 50, 60 feet tall?
Yep. It gets massive. Absolutely massive.
Not, maybe, but I don't think around here. It's too dry for.
How about cottonwood?
Cottonwood, similar, very similar to willow.
Yeah, no, it's not cottonwood, because that just blows cotton everywhere in the spring. How about elm?
No.
Don't look like elm.
Because one said it definitely was elm. Another one said it possibly could be elm, but it does not smell like elm.
What's the grain texture? Is it closed grain, open grain?
I have not turned it yet because I just got this wood. I just got back last night, and I've got everything unloaded. And so tomorrow I will probably start turning based upon your answers to question number 2.
It's not elm. It could be maple, or not maple, cherry.
No, it's not cherry.
Now, could it be linden bass? It's a European tree that they grew, that they planted over a long time ago.
These would be just wild trees.
Yep, I have basswood that is linden. It's the same tree.
Yeah.
It's super soft. Yeah, could I look at the bark again?
Yep, wrong one. Wrong direction.
I know what that one was. That could be elm.
See, that's what I've had a couple of people tell me, that they thought it was elm, And the one guy that told me that it was elm, but it did not smell right, has only been doing this for about 25, 30 years. He works for the power company, and he runs several crews doing all of the trimming of these trees around the power lines. And they were in there just taking trees down everywhere so that they get the power lines back up.
From your recollection, what does the leaves look like when it does have leaves? Are they oval?
That dangle to the ground?
Are they fuzzy?
No, they don't dangle. They're not fuzzy.
All right. If it's not
waxy,
the end grain doesn't look like elm.
No, it doesn't. It could be linden. It could also be cottonwood.
Yeah.
Something to think of. How soft is the wood?
It's not as hard as oak. No. It's pretty dense, pretty heavy right now. They're all green.
Yeah, they'd be heavy because they're full of water.
Right.
They'd be harder because they're full of water. But willow and what's the one you just said?
Cottonwood.
Oh, cottonwood. They look very similar with a white sapwood and a very caramel heartwood. It's a slow-growing tree, so it doesn't have distinct growth rings on the end grain, and the bark looks similar. You could probably dent it with your fingernail, can you?
Yeah, cottonwood is super soft.
No. And I have not seen cotton floating in that area for cottonwood either.
What do the leaves look like on it?
If I remember right, they were kind of, I don't know what you'd call them, pointed.
Oval point.
Let me go back. Let me show you the last picture, and then I'll undo it.
That could be elm. All right, that's box elder right there.
Yeah, Manitoba maple.
Yep, same tree. Acer Negundo.
Box
That's
elder?
right. That right there is box elder. If it's not cottonwood, that could also be cottonwood.
Okay, this one here is one of the slices where the trailers had been, and I was having to cut it into about 16, 18-inch lengths so that we could lift it even off and out of there. And
is that the same tree as the other one, the one we just looking at?
Yes, this is down at the base where the other are the upper branches. And
that's cottonwood. That's cottonwood, dude.
Yeah.
It was really punky wood on the other side to where so many of the slices, I just don't want them. Well, this one here had some decent wood in here.
That looks like cottonwood to me. I agree with Matt.
Yeah.
Like cottonwood.
This is Mark Soleil. Can I say something?
Sure.
Manitoba maple.
Okay. If you guys, there's a free app called Leaf Snap. You can download it for free. It's got a picture of the bark. It's got a picture of the buds. It's got a picture of the limbs, the leaves, the flowers, the nuts, whatever. And it's free. And you can just put it on your iPhone. And you might be able to look and match up the bark on Leaf Snap.
But this is the same as this was. This is the upper.
Yeah, cottonwood.
I think it's cottonwood.
Yeah, that end grain doesn't look like box elder either, but the bark looks much like cottonwood.
Box elder bark is not like that.
Tomorrow I will start turning some of this. Do you have an idea or recommendation of how I should turn something so that we can actually see the grain in, say, a turned bowl or something of that nature? Would that
Cut
even
it through the pith? Cut it through the pith and turn both halves.
Right. Okay. I mean, I've got a lot of it, and that's what I was intending to do. But
if it's cottonwood, it's soft and stringy. Okay.
Yes.
So make sure you're taking light cuts with sharp tools.
Right.
And in all the times I've turned cottonwood at maybe, I don't know, 8-10 pieces. I've
just
had to use a
Google
lot
it with a picture. It's cottonwood.
Yeah, I've had to use a lot of sanding sealer.
Yeah.
So, you know, it gets real stringy and it's soft, and don't bear down with sanding. Go very soft, light with the sanding touch, because it's soft enough that you'll just chew it up with sanding.
It'll
if
melt.
you're not careful. Yeah, yeah.
What I have felt of this, it doesn't feel that soft, but we'll find out.
Gary?
Yeah, yes.
Just be careful with that, because that tree came down in a tornado, which means it's under tension. It's been twisted.
No,
when you're turning that, it might have a chance to explode. I've sawn in a regular sawmill stuff that's come down in a tornado, and it'll actually jump right off the sawmill. It's got so much tension in it from the wind twisting the trunk of the tree. So just be careful with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have ring shake. Yep.
Yeah, I did not get anything that was anything close to a split or where it separated. These are all down into the main parts of the trunk and things like that.
It doesn't matter. That tree twisted even down in the main trunk.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, my last question, and actually the more important question, was that so many of the people, I mean, it's just the whole community comes together and helps you. And so I have taken these logs from these trees that came from there, and I brought them home, and I want to make things that would be like mementos or whatever. What from those people that have made all kinds of things for everybody, what, because I want to hand these out to people that have helped as thank yous, because what I intend to do is laser an image of the tornado with the name and the date on them. And
Here's my suggestion, Gary.
Yes.
Let me spotlight myself here, if I can.
You're there.
More spotlight. I make these little bowls. You guys have seen these before. This is a little coin bowl or change bowl or whatever. Little tchotchkes. It's shallow. It's, you know, maybe 5 inches in diameter. Little detail on the bottom. Perfect for lasering something into it. You know, it doesn't take a lot, but it's nice. Shows the grain. You know, so anyway, this is a great little keepsake. This sort of thing.
That's exactly the ideas that I was thinking of, and that was one of them that I was thinking, because that I can on the bandsaw, you know, cut those into about 2-inch thick. That would then give me a tenon on the bottom and maybe about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch lip. That's what I was thinking, but are there any other suggestions too? Because I want to hand these things out and kind of do my part. Because of my age, I can't do a whole lot of what a lot of these younger kids can do to move these logs. I mean, there's probably
you got a lot of large pieces there, Gary.
Yes.
I would say I would make some nice fruit bowls for the folks.
Well, the larger stuff I did not bring home. That one log was the largest thing I brought home, and that's the only.
Oh, okay.
All the rest of them are between probably 7 and 10 inches in diameter, and when they're taken down, they're usually cut by the power company and basically firewood length.
Yeah, firewood
They'll
length.
wrap their arm around it, and then they'll take the chainsaw and cut it off, and then they'll, with their arm, they'll move the bowl wherever they can, or the log, to drop
Still
it.
makes a nice salad bowl.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gary in Arizona's got a great idea about making platters. I agree. Make a platter, put the name and date on it.
So what again?
A platter,
just
a small platter or a plate.
That's
Those turn quick.
That's kind of like what Matt just suggested, to where I'll kind of probably, what is the wood giving me? And what the wood gives me is kind of what the diameter, but yeah.
Nobody is expecting anything. They'll much appreciate whatever you make for them, Gary.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You can, buddy.
But it's this thank you for everybody contributing. I mean, the guy with the skid steer, has come 3 times now by my place. And he just comes to me and then he goes to somebody else and somebody else.
See, like him, I would make a big bowl for him.
Yes, for him. 2 doors down is one of the volunteer firemen, and he's got a 100-gallon diesel tank on a trailer. He filled that 4 times, he said, and it cost him it's $400 a piece, and he's done it 4 times, to where he would then just drive around to different people with skid steers or tractors or whatever, fill them up, and then move on. I mean, this is the kind of thing that was going on everywhere. So I really want my part, and this is the only thing I can think of to really give.
Hey, you know, a little something that I think they're really easy to make. Dean Grimes is the one that I learned it from, making the crosses. And it doesn't take a very big piece of wood at all to make them. Of course, the way he teaches it, and if he's on tonight, he can explain it better than I can, making them out of the tree branches themselves. But as you're cutting those into bowl blanks and whatever, you'll have some cutoff, and you might be able to turn some of the crosses if you have some churches or more religious people that helped out. Kind of a cool thing to give people. I've made several for my mom.
I've done a fair amount of the crosses. We've got a little gallery here that the ladies in my Sunday school class, in fact, and I've given her a whole bunch of those bowls or crosses, and she either sells them to people that will come into her gallery and framing shop, or if it's somebody that can't afford something or needs some blessings or whatever, I've told her, you give them to them.
Hey, Brenda Thornton came up with an idea. Why don't you turn some can cozies? See, Brenda started down the road there.
Yeah, she showed us her can cozy earlier.
Yeah, if that's good soft wood, it'd be good insulation. So it might be something to play around with. Gary, you're off to a great track there. Yeah, this is a good idea. Thanking those who help us in need. First responders are always first. Let's treat them that way. And folks, if you want to share information with Gary, you can put it in the chat, including contact information, etc., and he'll get back to you. Gary, thank you so much for being involved tonight.
Let me ask one last thing. If this wood turns out to be something like box elder, is there anything I need to be aware of for drying so we don't start seeing splitting? Anything that maybe come to mind?
To me, no matter what it is, it has to be dried slowly. All wood moves. God's got this thing. All wood moves.
I've found that oak seems to be my hardest one to do.
Yeah. Well, they don't like change. So
it depends on how thick you go, Gary, and how comfortable you are with that. I would say that anything less than 3/8 of an inch is not going to move or that much, move that much. If you can get it that thin,
I should.
Yeah, and if you're not turning very big pieces, and if you keep the the center of the pith out of it, you're probably in good shape.
Yeah. Okay.
But box elder is a maple family. If it is box elder, I mean, we think it's cottonwood, but if it is box elder, Acer Negundo is a soft maple. So it's a pretty solid wood. I mean, it's softer than normal hard maple, but it's still a pretty good wood. I love turning it.
We've got silver maple here.
Yeah. So,
but coasters might be a good idea.
What, Sue?
I said coasters might be a good idea.
Yeah, that's kind of, again, like what Matt said, it's kind of in that area. But
yeah.
I'm hoping for something a little bit more than just a coaster that somebody sticks a can onto.
Bowls.
That's why
you can engrave on it and hang it on a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like the little bowls or the platters. And I like those, I don't know if Kate, if you've got any of your little vases around, those are really great too.
The glass liners.
Yeah, I might.
And if you go natural edge, who cares if they warp? It just adds to it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so the outside edge, I do a natural, and on the inside, I do a little both.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, what it came up with.
Of all the above.
You got limitless options.
Right.
Right. Again, thank you, folks. If any members have something along those lines you'd like us to get involved in, or you'd like to share with our membership, do so. If you have anything like that you'd like to share in chat, put it in the chat. Now, this evening at our meeting, I said, what club do you belong to? And that was the intent was to find out just where do we cover, what do we have covered? Because we've heard from a lot of clubs that we have people in, and we'd like to make sure we can invite the rest of the club, their club, to join us. And you can too. Just don't, come on, it's free. But we can't say go to our membership list. You see, we don't have one. We don't have a membership list or a roster or a sign-up card or no, we're just a bunch of people sitting on a tailgate sharing wood turning stories. And if you'd like to share those stories with some of our members, I mean, I can't remember phone numbers. I really can't. I can barely remember my name. But when you get into the situation, you want to contact somebody you've either seen, talked to, or whatever, all you have to do is put it in our chat. What do you put in chat? You put your contact information. Hi, this is Bob Charles. I'm in Kahona, Missouri, and I belong to the Waterford Wood Turning Club. And if you want to get a hold of me, here's my address, my phone number, my email, etc., etc. What do you want to put on that list? What do you want to put on there? It's non-commercial, but we like to get the information you have and share it with other members. What happens? You put the information in our chat right now, and you put what you like to have included. Tomorrow, our webmaster, Dave Rhodes, will go in and modify that chat, take that information out of the chat, and he will post the chat to our website. All right, that's a regular operation. But he took that information you gave out of it, and he's using that to build a member list. Now, it's really not a membership list. It's just a list of the gang that hangs out and talks wood turning. If you like a copy of the list, you go to our website under copies, the member list, and follow directions exactly. And you
follow the directions.
Follow the directions. And the subject is Captain, CAPTAIN. And if you follow it all, within about 14 seconds after you submit it, you will get the response. It will be at that moment the current list. It may not cover everything and everybody, because not everybody put everything in there. So, but if you want to be on a contact list, that's one thing. We're still collecting tips and tricks. Don't forget that. And I tried to contact list. It said, oops, the page is not available. We have one of the world's finest webmasters right there. They got right there. Where's he at? He's right out there someplace. He tells me that if you made just a little bitty mistake or didn't follow the exact directions, like unchecking a block and things like that, you're not going to get the list. It's not a mean thing. It's a bot thing. It's to keep the bots from getting to our list. And I have no idea. My iPad gets 40 or 50 junk emails a day. I don't want to be on another bot list. We're going to do some gallery right now, folks. If you like something you'd like to show, throw it into the chat and say, I have something to show. Patrick, will you contact our webmaster directly? And he will help you out. Go right to our, you can put your information in the chat right here and ask him to please contact you, or you can go through our regular website. Nobody gets left behind, bud. Nobody. Dane, do we go back to gallery right now, bud?
Yeah, we got one person we can pop up. Bill, you awake?
Bill.
Well, looky there.
Yes, I'm awake.
There you go.
I have never done a what do you call a form? The hollow form. I've never done a hollow form, so I thought I would try one. But I think what you guys may be more interested in is the wood. This is a piece of yellow cedar. Some people call them Nootka cedar. They grow on the Pacific Northwest coast. Beautiful softwood. This is a burl, and so it's hard to see the color here. The light's not very good, but it's a cream yellow with all of the dark markings in it.
Yeah, it looks
This
nice.
is hollowed to, as Cabe would say, uniform 1/8 inch wall thickness. It's got a collar here, so you can only get your finger in that far. So you're going to have to take my word for it that it's 1/8 inch thick.
That's the deal with Cade. You got to trust him, right?
That's right.
What's it sound like, Bill? Do
What
the
is it?
ting. Do the ting.
There you go. Hollow. Yep.
Very nice.
So maybe it's a little bit more than an 1/8, and maybe not quite uniform. But anyway,
No, it's an 8. That sounded like an 8.
Yeah. Great fun. Beautiful sort of wood. Brought to Eastern Canada by a guy who used to work on Vancouver Island in the logging business, and has a supply of this that he's willing to part with. So I saw somebody doing a hollow form on the show here a couple weeks ago, and so I thought the idea of a little contrasting collar was a nice idea. So this is maybe just too bright here. The collar is
that's good.
Nice.
A spalted maple. So I've got another piece that's a little bit bigger than this. So the next collar I think I'm going to do is maybe a darker wood, walnut or something like that, just to contrast the color of cherry or something. But for a first try, I thought it was pretty good. And as I say,
it's nice shape. That's a pretty wood. It's got a pretty grain pattern to it.
It is lovely wood. Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
What's your finish on it, Bill?
It's only had one coat of white pond poly. It will probably get 8 or 10 more before it's
There
done.
you go. Right on.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Make sure you show it to us after you get all the coats on there.
I'll do that next week, I hope.
Right on.
But Cade, can you see? You can see the reflection of his computer in it. Look, Cade.
Yeah, very nice. Nice finish.
That's the requirement around here, Bill.
I know.
The reflection of the monitor.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah.
I gave up shaving, so I don't use it for that.
Oh, you joined the Billy Burke Club.
Just a little trim. Just a little trim here and there.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you,
You're
sir.
not too
Appreciate
far
you
from
showing
me. I'll
tonight.
trade you a piece of that cedar or that for a piece of wood I got. If you have more of it.
I'll get in touch with you, Kate. I could get you a piece. This is I think I paid $6 for this piece of wood. So it's, I could get you a piece and send it to you.
Wow, sure. Yeah, I'll send you back some.
I'll do that.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, swapping wood here, folks, and it's non-commercial. All right, so we don't need a lumberyard jumping in. Like, Kate, we're doing gallery. Do you have a gallery tonight?
Yeah, I think I have a few things on my bedway here.
Wow, how'd I know? How'd I know?
Right?
It's like osmosis. It just comes to me through the air.
Tap on it. Tap.
So a few weeks ago, I was doing, or months or whatever, I've been busy doing demos, but I did this demo a while ago and I didn't have it finished, but I saw some really nice spalted wood. I just wanted to show it again with a really nice shine on it, because it really makes the spalting pop when you can see your reflection in it. So here is the spalted maple.
I see a duck. Brenda, look.
A duck or a flaming skull?
Oh, okay. I don't see the flaming skull. I'm cleaner than
Hey,
that.
what is wrong with you?
I like the idea of a duck with a flaming skull. That works for me.
Been drinking. We got in the wrong medication.
And look, the Amazon arrow on a bad day. There it is.
Maybe the right medication.
But I want spalted maple. And then this one is ash, but I really like this piece because I really got the color contrast between the heart and the sapwood on
Oh,
that
that's good.
side, but it mirrored on this side.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. That is a pretty piece.
And that's 1/8 of an inch all the way down to the base.
Bill says your eighth and his eighth is two different things.
Another thing Gary could make were small hollow forms. They make good little gifts, tiny little hollow forms. Now you can do color contrasting colors with inlays, but you don't have to. You can make it out of one solid piece. And this was cherry and acacia with 5 aluminum inlays. And now it's all shined up. We can see our reflection in it.
Yeah, look at that.
A week ago, I did a demo on the 3-corner bowls. So I was playing around. I had some time to play, and I sort of came up with this sort of shape for rather than your regular conical shape or slightly rounded shape bowl. It's more of like a half hollow form with a bowl with the 4-corner lids. And I dyed this piece yellow. This is tulip poplar, so it's pretty plain Jane. This is it before I start turning it. So it's quite boring, but it's nice for embellishing and coloring. And these are going to be a couple zipper vases that I got orders for. But I have a demo coming up in a couple weeks, and I'm doing a aluminum finials with Asian inspired boxes. Now you might have seen this on Facebook a week or so ago, and I have finally put finish on it. Now I have finish on the outside and the inside, but the top is still a matte finish. I still need to put finish on the top to match the reflection I get off the body.
That is a reflection.
Oh, that's great. That's really nice, Jay. Okay, very nice.
And this is dyed poplar, dyed black with chestnut spirit stain. So pretty boring, but you can really make it pop with the dark black
really
and white
did.
color contrast of the 2 different mediums.
Beautiful.
Thanks. I did this one as well, which is another Asian inspired box, not as petite of a bottom. An aluminum finial, but this one was turned out of the roasted ash we were talking about a couple weeks ago. Really gives the striking grain design. Now I've finished the outside and I finished the inside, but I haven't quite finished the top yet. So now I have to sand and finish the top to give it the same sheen. But those are a couple with aluminum finials, and this is one I think I showed a few weeks ago, which has the brass, a brass finial with maple burl. The other 2 boxes were roughly 1/8 of an inch wall thickness. This one is a 1/16 of an inch wall thickness, and you can tell you really got your wall thickness consistent when the inside of the hollow form looks bigger than the outside of the hollow form.
Right. Yeah, especially there in the center. There in the crown, it looks like, why does it look so wide?
And there's the burl of the maple on the lid as well.
One more cut there, Kate, and you would have been, the inside would have been the outside.
No, not quite. I could have gone another 1/16 and I would have been at the 32nd. The thinnest I've gone is a 32nd, and you can almost read the paper through it when you have the light coming through it. But if you twitch on that, it's pretty quick to blow up on you. But it's fun. Just don't stand in the line of fire.
That's what happened to that piece I had on my lathe. I left for a minute and it blew up while I was gone. That's my story. Thank you, Kate. Beautiful work, sir. Appreciate it so much.
Hey, your
Thanks,
work is
everyone.
amazing.
Dane, do we have him on an upcoming schedule? I'm not looking at my.
Yeah, Cade's in the summertime.
In the summer. Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's coming up in the summertime.
And
Hey,
folks, if
Joaquin.
you wonder what we're talking about, if we line up our demonstrators right here, volunteers, and like this guy. This is one of our key players. Hello,
I gotta get
Joaquin.
him. I gotta get this
Yep.
guy scheduled for a demo. But he just keeps.
If I could get a setup out in the shop where I could have more than my phone, I would. And I'll work on it, okay? I promise you I'll work on it.
Joaquin, so many of us use our phones already.
But I know, but I lose signal out there.
Well, turn your Wi-Fi off and use your network.
You can link it.
Yeah,
right?
if you can
Well-
run a cable out there, is that what you're talking about, Dane?
Yeah.
No, use your mobile. Use the mobile network. Turn the Wi-Fi off and use your mobile network, like when you're 300 miles away from home.
Oh, okay. I'll work on that. I'll see.
When you're at home, your phone seeks the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So it pops in and out, in and
That's
out.
right. Yeah. Well,
If you want to get creative with that, Joaquin, and want to test it, you just give me a buzz, man. We'll figure it out.
okay. So we had a fundraiser for the church, and this is a little mesquite bow I turned for the silent auction. Makes me so mad here. I had a little branch coming out here, and I didn't super glue it and kind of broke a little bit of it off. It would have looked good on there. Yeah.
That's a
Looks like
feature,
a
brother.
Got a
Yeah.
duck.
Okay.
It's a feature.
Or a flame.
Yeah. Well, a couple of weeks ago, Cade and Matt and I was talking and sharing about the cube. And we're talking about, putting the cube in there and turning it like that. So I want these angles here that I don't have to have a cube to have a 3-point on a vase or something. This is, we talked about, this is a vase I did with a cube. Well, I want that end on there, and I put it in the lathe and put my little angle finder on there. I found out that, well, okay, all you need is 35-degree cut and 120 degrees apart. And so this I did out of just a junky piece of North Fork Island pine. It's real punky, but it was a round cylinder about 7 inches long. And I made these 35-degree cuts on it in my chop saw. And I'm getting to where I want to make a vase with a 3-point opening on it. And so I said, okay, now I know how to do that. I can do that either 5 inches up on my chop saw or bigger than that. I'll have to do it on my bandsaw. And I said, well, what about a 5-point? And so I laid out this 5-point bow.
I want to see a demo on that.
That's cool. Very nice.
That looks like Cindy Dro's the accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, but it needs dyed. It needs something on it. It's too plain Jane. It looks like Cade's got a great idea on dyeing it. And so I said,
you should carve it a
Owl
little.
face on that.
Carve it a little.
Yeah, carve it or torch it to accentuate the grain.
Or do a little wood burning design on it.
I know Gary Lowe, he's got some great ideas on dyeing.
Do some dyeing, double dye.
Pyrography it.
Yeah.
You got a wood burner, Joaquin?
Yes, I do.
Well, you already got 5 points, so you could connect them all in a star. And then,
Well, I want to, if I do a star, I want to do a segmented star inside of it.
All right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. And so I said, okay. So I've got this piece of ash, green ash, that I want to do the vase. And so I cut my 5 points on there to have the 5-point opening on a vase. And so we're working on that. Just from the idea that I didn't want to turn a 3-point out of a cube. I wanted to be able to do it on a piece of vase type blank.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how this turns out.
Cool.
That'd be nice. Keep us in touch.
I would most definitely will.
Mac, fix that problem with this camera. We want them on. We want them on. Come on.
Anything I could do to help, just ask.
We're gonna be talking.
Okay. Okay, Matt.
It's not volunteers, it's draftees.
But yeah, I do have a video on turning a finial with a 3/8 bow gouge, about 9 minutes long.
That'll work too.
That's just to show that you don't need that you can do it with 3/8 bow gouge. You don't have to have a spindle gouge. It's something I use for teaching beginners.
You could run a network cable out to a wireless access point.
Absolutely, I could.
Or a booster box.
Once again, all you gotta do is turn the Wi-Fi off and use your local network.
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to do several things. I have to rearrange, pull the lathe out from the wall. A couple of things I'd have to do besides.
All right.
But I'll work on it, Dane, and kind
Yeah,
of.
we can talk, Joaquin. I can walk you through on.
What angle is the 5 sides?
Sorry?
What angle is the 5 sides?
72 degrees apart.
360 divided by.
Let's see. Oh.
Yeah.
That's
actually okay. This one here, I felt it should have been 35. In order to get 35 degrees, I got to put this in my chop saw like this and go down, and that's not good. But I ended up putting this in, dividing it up into 5 parts, and taking the chop saw all the way over to 40 degrees. So this is cut on a 40 degrees. Each one of these are 40 degrees, but it'll still give the 5-point. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, that'll work.
Beautiful.
Joaquin.
Yeah.
Great work. Great work. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You bet.
Okay, we're still doing gallery here, worldwidewoodturners.org. If you have a piece you'd like to show, go into our website, our chat, and say, look, I have a piece to show. We'll get right to you and show off your work. Your work sparks interest in other folks. Yeah, look, just now Joaquin out of Corpus Christi, Texas, was telling Cade Bolger out of Ontario, Canada, how to turn a piece. And he was paying attention. Hope you paid attention. I did. I made notes. I took screen shares because, hey, this is something, it's interesting when you can take a theory and put your own little twist on it. And that's the important thing. Oh, we have a dog jumped in. All right. I thought I had, nope, I don't have it here. Oh, yeah. I got a note. Somebody sent me a PM just now. It said, why don't we put the names of our cities on our screens? Well, and Joaquin's got that. He's got Corpus Christi on there.
I've got mine. It says Tucson, Arizona.
Don Masterson's got his. Brenda's got Ohio.
Mine's on there.
Yeah, throw your name on there. You can rename yourself. All you have to, it's right there in participants, so you can just change your name. Pardon?
I was just saying I got East Tennessee.
East Tennessee, good. And hey, look, if you put a name in there, make sure they'll own up to you. I mean, you know.
Okay, fine.
All right, anybody else in the gallery tonight? We got about 20 minutes to wrap up, and then we pull the plug. That storm that Billy and I talked about coming into this area got here. I'm surprised I hadn't lost my internet because the lights did blink once or twice, but I'm on battery.
What do you guys want to see? A basic round shelf that I turned on my lathe for my liquor barrel build?
Okay.
All right. Let me spin my camera, spotlight myself. And...
All right. We see your spotlight.
Oh, somebody already did.
Yeah, I got you covered.
Right on. So we're spinning around. There it is.
Nice, very nice. Nice finish.
So there was So I dyed it to make it look like wine got spilled all over it. So it's going to be the middle shelf of the barrel. And then there was a really bad knot, so I decided to fill it with some turquoise. And then there's another one.
I like that turquoise effect, yeah.
But yeah,
cool.
so the liquor barrel build's coming along. All I got to do is buff down the outside of the wood, and then I'll be able to put my spar Verifane on it, and then paint the rings black. And
That is beautiful.
Nice.
Put the enamel final clear coat finish on the outside, and then put my install the shelf on the inside. So the shelf on top of that is going to have it's got a 20-inch Lazy Susan on that'll bolt down on it. And then, so that shelf will have a clear glass shelf that'll sit down on top of the Lazy Susan. And then the bottom shelf that'll sit in the very bottom of the barrel, that's going to be a mirror sitting on the Lazy Susan. And then I'm going to have LED lights on the inside that'll pop on when you pop the doors open, and it'll be pretty cool.
It is beautiful piece.
I'll let y'all see it when I'm finally finished with it. But that's what's been taking up my time for the last few weeks. That's why I haven't done much on the lathe anymore.
Hey, I don't apologize, man. That thing is a piece of work. Beautiful.
Making it for my cousin. I just met my cousin for the first time. He's 74 years old. Met him for the first time back in July at my family reunion. And then in December, he came down to visit me and brought this barrel down and said, "Hey, I know you're a woodworker and everything. I know you do a lot of wood turning, but think you can make me a liquor cabinet?" And I'm like, "Well, that's wood, of course. Why not?" So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Good. I love that. We have some other folks in the bullpen for the gallery tonight, folks. At 17 minutes to the bottom of the hour, to the top of the hour, and Dane, where you want to go? Dick Store's got something.
Let's see. Let me go to Dick. Looks like Dick is the next one up. So Dick, go ahead and start talking, and I'll bring you up here, buddy.
Yeah, I had to unmute. There we go. I'm here. Does that sound good? I got you. I went to the Mid-Atlantic Pen Turners get together in Dulles at Virginia. And the reason I went there was to demonstrate, but what I did was show some pens that I did.
Wow.
Just for example. And then this one, yeah, the one down this corner here, I was demonstrating the CV curing resin as a pen blank. So this one's made out of the credit circuit board. The next three are out of albacore shells or abalone, one of the two. The next one is fingernail polish from the dollar store. And the final one is acrylic paint from the Hobby Lobby. But what I did was I made one of the circuit board pens for the demonstration. And this is just really neat. There's no mold, no mix, no measure, no pressure pot to make that blank.
Ooh, Dane, sign them up.
I wish I had the equipment to do that, but I'm not. They said that they recorded the demo, but they weren't interested in sharing it because it was not up to the quality of the photo stuff that they normally did. But I've got 2 more demos like that I'm signed up for. So we'll see if I can come up with a video that I can share.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be great, Dick.
Very nice, sir.
Group would really appreciate it. No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. Everybody write Dick a note tonight, you know.
Right? All right. So now let's go to this guy here, because here's somebody I'd like to get him to do a demo on. Charlie.
Charlie Bundy.
Greetings. I can't do a demo, and I'll invite you out here. My shop is metal with wire meshing, so stuff can't come and go.
Oh, we can work around
okay.
that.
I'm just.
That's why the gods made cables.
These are 3 of 4 pieces of my sister's legs to her couch.
Oh,
Cool.
Very nice. They're
Those are
like,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
What are
I,
they, Charlie?
it's pine and I burned it.
What'd you
And
say
it's
they
got
were?
OB shine juice.
Couch
Charlie.
legs. he said.
Charlie, what'd you say they were?
They're the legs to a couch.
Legs. Okay, got it.
Yeah, he only took 3 of them. That thing is rocking away.
And then I turned the pen.
hey.
Yeah.
very nice.
Nice.
Now, I also have something that for those that like to that make them scoops, you can make a scoop holder if you don't have the jaws.
Oh, there you go.
They're held together. Mine slightly fell apart. It ain't been used in a while. And you drill that hole for the handle when it's turning so that you can hollow it out. And you can drill that hole at any angle you want if you're doing an offset handle.
Yeah.
It's very simple. 2x6.
Talk about cool ideas.
It is.
He calls himself the Montana wood turner, but he's actually from in Wyoming.
Oh,
And
Sam.
he's on the internet.
Sam Angelo.
And he's got a video on how to make one of these.
Yeah, Mike
Sam,
Peace.
good turner.
Does he actually show all the steps to it?
He shows every step, and he has
Yeah.
a link to blueprints for it.
Typically, he doesn't show all the steps on his stuff. I was just curious.
Give his name again, please.
Sam, the Wyoming wood turners, Sam Angelo.
Sam Angelo, Wyoming wood turner. Thank you. Mike
And
Peace.
he's actually in Montana now.
Yeah, he moved recently, man.
Oh, he moved again?
Well, he was in Wyoming, so he called himself a Wyoming wood turner, and then he's moved to Montana, but he still calls himself the Wyoming wood turner.
He's now a robust
5
lady
years ago,
dealer.
he was still calling himself the Wyoming wood turner, but he was living in Montana.
Yeah, he still calls himself the Wyoming wood turner, but he's originally from Ohio. Then he moved to Wyoming. Then he started doing YouTube videos and blah 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 blah.
That's all I got.
Is he running from the law or what? What's the deal here? Thank you, Charlie. Great work tonight.
Yep.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Charlie.
A lot of great gallery tonight coming through. I mean, some really great things, great tips and tricks tonight too. And we've had a couple bounce into the meeting. Johnny Hughes showed us a little pencil holder with 2 magnets in it, just stick to your lathe. We're sitting here doing a meeting, and I'm looking on the wall. I got post-it notes all over the wall behind my desk, and they're all up with 3/8" magnets. I'm going to change those out, and I'll tell you where those magnets are going to go. Pencil holders. Because when I moved my shop inside, my wife said, first thing you're going to do is buy pencils. That was one. Number 2 was Band-Aids. I wasn't real cool about the Band-Aids idea, but the pencils work out. And then we go to hang pictures in her studio. She can't find a pencil. I love it. Karma.
She knows where to go look for one now.
I know how to lock the door to my shop. All makes for fun. Okay, anybody else got a gallery tonight? We got a few minutes left to wrap this up. We're losing some folks this evening. Crowd's dwindling a little bit. But if we got some gallery items, I'd like to show them. If you got a question or a problem or a situation or you just want to share, now's the opportunity, because this is, and I believe it, your wood turning club. And Matt Harbor just put us.
You have one trick to share.
Who's that?
This is Norbert.
No, let me bring you up, Norbert. I got you now.
Yeah, okay. One of the things I like to share is, when I change my jaws on my chucks, I use hose clamps and close the jaws all the way down until they're totally closed. I put a hose clamp around it and tighten it down, and then take all the screws out so that when I have to put those jaws back on, I can just rotate them to the 1, 2, 3, and 4 position where they belong, and just put the screws right back into the chuck. So all the hose clamps do is keep all the jaws in alignment so that I don't have to fiddle with looking for number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So they are hanging on my shelf all in the sequence of when I need a larger 100 millimeter or a 60 millimeter, whatever, I just pull them off, put them on the chuck when it's closed down, and I don't have to worry about changing and looking for and, you know, being always frustrated of not having the right sequence, the right screwdriver. So I just pull them off, put them on, and tighten the screws down, and I'm back to turning within a very short time.
Yeah, that's
Good idea.
Good idea.
That's a good idea.
Clever.
I know putting them
Thanks for
on
sharing that. That's a good tip.
I tried for a while putting them on these shower curtain hoops, and that's just go ahead and drop one in a trash. You'll never find it again. It's like dropping screws in, or bearings or anything. Alrighty. Anybody else with this evening?
So if I got a tip for you, so if you're prone to dropping stuff on the ground,
Yeah.
at a minimum, you know, try to sweep up your shavings after each project.
What?
How often? When?
Just a thought. Just a thought. If you
Radical idea.
keep that pile minimum, you know, you might be able to find it, drag a magnet through there a little bit easier. I'm just saying.
I managed to
I've
discover
heard it
that
helps.
too.
How
You
dare
know,
you
they
speak
make these
sacrilege,
big-
Dane?
They make
You know
these
what?
big
You know
magnets
what?
on a stick.
Brenda, she liked a post earlier today that I saw. Maybe it was a while back, but I just saw it today. But I don't know who it was, but this guy was showing off pictures of his lathe and whatnot. But he had what looked like a mail bin or a big giant Tupperware box underneath his lathe, but he had it on wheels.
Laundry cart or something.
Yeah, something similar to that, right? Yeah, laundry cart maybe, mail bin, you know, whatever, you know. But slide it underneath your lathe, catch all the shavings, wheel it out, dump it. But yeah, but that was a pretty good catch, Brenda. I thought that was pretty cool.
I
liked
that.
you liking it.
I like that. You gotta
would you-
find me something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you have to buy a broom or anything like that? I mean, would that?
Well, it's up to the person, I guess. You know. I mean, yeah.
You wouldn't need a broom if you had one of those carts under it.
And then earlier today, so this morning while I was drinking my coffee and chatting with the wife and reading, you know, going through the turning sites for anything new and interesting I felt like commenting on it or not commenting on. And so somebody was talking about using the easy course system and turning natural edge bowls, and the guy found out that you really do have to have that knife support cutter actually engaged in a cut all the way into the bowl that you're trying to core out. So as an easy core person owner, you definitely got to have a groove cut all the way through the wood to prevent that nice support from sliding out and making a horrendous catch and bending your knife support, bending your knife cutter, and blowing up your piece of wood. So don't be this guy that was talking about, oh, I didn't know I had to do that.
I know a couple people who've bent those knives. So
well, yeah, I mean, it's simple. So the easiest way, you know, whether you're doing a natural edge or a regular bowl, regular orientation. So I always start my groove off with a 1/4 inch parting tool and cut my groove in, you know, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch in before I even engage my cutter knife. That way the groove is already started and you ain't got to worry about it. And you want to keep that knife cutter supported underneath the post, even though one way says you can go 2 inches beyond that post. You know, obviously the more support you got, you're going to have less vibration. So it just makes sense, you know, keep that knife cutter supported.
Hey, Dane, weren't you gonna do a demo on that easy core system?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Speaking of demos, right? I know I still owe you one, but
No,
when I get done training the National Guard,
careful about asking for demos when we're still waiting for one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but
I know.
So the
when
whole
I'm
thing
done
with
training
me is
the
having wood suitable to be able to core at the time, you know, I can do a demo, you know. I had some wood that I cored, but I wasn't able to do a demo at that time. But, you know, eventually I'll have some, you know, hopefully this spring, you know, I'll be going back east here, and looks like the middle of April now. So hopefully I'll be bringing some of that nice soft wood y'all turned back with me, and then I'll be able to do a demo later this summer. So
good. All right,
yeah,
we'll be looking for it. All right. Well, folks, it's coming up on the top of the hour. We pull the plug about that time each week. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for being a member tonight, being in the meeting, coming to share tips and tricks and ideas, your artwork. We had a fantastic demonstration by Trace, and we had a good presentation by Gary, and Bob Clark did our tips and tricks. Wow, we had a whole bunch of people involved in bringing you better wood turning. If we can be of any service to you, you can contact us. You can go right to our website and do it, or you can send it to our club email at worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. We're here each and every week, and we will help you out. And anything else we can do for you, let us know. On behalf of over 100 members who popped in tonight, I want to thank you for what you've done. I wish you well, and please, above all, be safe. Good night, everybody.
Absolutely. And if anybody's interested in doing a demo, get in touch with me. If anybody needs help on doing anything, I'm here all day, every day. Give me a call.
Good night,
everybody.
Take care. Night, everyone.
Everybody.
Good night, John boy.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Talk to you in a bit, Cade.
Yep.
Not like what?
Have a good one.
Brenda, have a good one.
Take care.
Brenda, get your tools sharpened up. I'm coming.
Sooner the better.
For a visit.
I need all the help I can get.